What adjustment
Carry
are you
on.
making? Okay. Okay. He's coming in all the way from Great Britain. He is BSG emissary, tactical Tarkov teacher. He's the man with the plan. He's the commander of the Dink squad. He is the one, the only, Mr. DanExert.
Hello, what's going on?
Hello.
Hello.
What's
Wow.
going on, man?
How are you, champ?
Man, that was
Welcome.
that intro. Can you do my intro vid for the stream, man? That was epic.
Yeah,
that was
absolutely,
really
dude.
cool. Thank you.
I can 100% do that for you anytime, man. It'll be $1 million at least.
Yeah. I just have to get. I'll have a chat with the bank, and I'll get back to you on that one, mate. Oh
I can
my
do
goodness.
you credit loan anytime, you know.
Yeah, I'll just pay you in exposure. It's all right. That's how it works in the industry nowadays, isn't it? You just pay people
I
in.
think-
Oh, look, that
Shout
worked
outs.
maybe 10 years ago, mate.
Pretty sure Vim tried to do that. It didn't work.
I can't
out
pay
too
my
well for
bills
them.
with exposure.
That is true. That is true.
Van would get himself in a lot of trouble if he was any kind of exposed. So yeah, you may be a fool on that plan.
Mind you, though, if he had a patented knob cover, he would be fine.
Oh dear, got keep that covered up, mate. You can't go around exposing yourself. Jeez.
Hey.
Especially
I mean-
not around schools. Hey, Vam.
Let's not talk about that. That was one time.
Anyway, moving
it was-
forward.
Oh my
It was
god.
not on purpose. It was I was framed. All right, I was just like to say I was framed. The police framed me.
It's a setup. Has to be.
It is.
I feel the
good
only
morning.
time that they would have
Yeah.
framed you would have been when they took your mugshot. But anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not in the system. All right, that all got expunged.
Oh,
So
dear.
first things first. Good morning, because
Yeah,
it is.
good
morning
Yeah,
for you.
yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a bit of a morning. Found out that I don't have any water pressure at home.
Oh, good.
Good times.
Yeah, that's a great start to the day. Just got
Yeah,
no
yeah.
water, so yeah, happy days. That's my life so far. It can only get better from here. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, plenty of room for improvement.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, the way you fix that is by leaving the terrible EU and coming and living down in New Zealand where it's wonderful. You know,
Well, there
don't
you
go
go.
to Australia. There's too many snakes.
Sounds good. I mean,
Australians.
You know what? Snakes aren't that big of a problem here.
Australians are though. There's lots of those.
I can guarantee you that
Your
snakes are
country
even less of a
folk-
problem here than they
Your
are where you
country
are.
folk that have left New Zealand and come here are more of a fucking problem than snakes are, mate.
That's why they're over there. We don't want them anymore, and we
Oh,
send
fuck
them
it,
over
you can
to
have
you
them.
guys to annoy you.
No, you can
Good.
fucking have them back, mate.
Why are
We
you
don't.
still
Well,
here?
no,
then?
they're yours now. They're yours.
I don't
Why are
care.
you still here?
What do you mean? Why am I still here? I'm freaking Kiwi to the core, mate. You can never get rid of me. It's not
You'll
gonna
never
happen.
get rid of me.
Never.
Never.
All
I
right.
feel like I've walked into something here.
Yeah, I hope
Oh.
you've had your coffee there, Dan. 'Cause
Yeah, did
I
you get
did.
your
probably
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
need
yeah. Yeah, I was able to, without going into too much detail, I was able to complete my whole morning routine.
Hey.
Had a coffee, happy days, and then just went to wash my hands right at the very end, just like as part of my routine. And yeah, nothing came out of the tap, so I was like, well, fuck. Cool. So yeah, but
Do
it's
you
all
know,
right.
is it
Yeah,
like
one of the
around your area, or I presume it's your sort of your block, or
But I was just talking to the missus, and she says that she thinks there's a burst pipe down the road or something. So there must be something have been reported. So
Yeah, right.
yeah, fingers crossed they get it sorted out and get back
Yeah.
up and running, man. Because how else am I supposed to enjoy a sneak energy with no water?
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There you go. See.
yeah.
what's your
Mind you, though-
favorite flavor? What's your flavor,
Yeah,
by the way?
Flavor. I'm a big fan of Neon Punch. I think Neon Punch is really nice. And the OGs like Strawberry Watermelon, they're always good. Stealth,
Yeah, right.
Cherry Bomb. It'd be quicker to ask me what my least favorite flavors would be, to be honest.
Okay, what's your least
What's
favorite?
the worst flavor?
Yeah,
then?
what's the worst
Ah, shit. Probably.
You
I'm
find out.
not a huge fan of the millions flavors, like the blue, the bubblegum and the strawberry. They're nice, but they're a bit too strong. If I was gonna have those, I'd probably add a little bit more water just to like water it down a little bit, because they're like super potent. Like the flavors just
Get a
like.
bit of vodka in there as well,
Well,
Just
exactly.
one? No,
Irish
fuck
it
it,
up.
just snort it.
Oh god.
snort the powder.
Well, I know
You're
there are
such an
people that
animal, Red.
I know there are people that do
Dan's
just
just smiling. I
they'll just
reckon I'm onto
dry
something
scoop
here,
it.
mate.
I know
Mate.
people just dry scoop it, don't
No
they?
comment.
Well, I mean, people can do what they want, but on behalf of Sneak Energy Limited, obviously, they can't condone the
Disclaimer,
consumption. You know,
But
like
yeah, no,
Please use responsibly and as
exactly,
directed.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't eat the little
Yeah, there
packet
is-
of desiccant in there either, because that's not
No.
good for you.
If you do use it irresponsibly though, make sure you tag Dan on Twitter
Yeah.
so we can all see.
Yeah,
and
make sure to
film
get a
it
video.
on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah.
And make sure you also tag the Tarkov Medical Board because we are
Yeah.
interested to see what stupid shit
Yeah,
you
we
guys
wanna
get
Hundred
up
see
to.
this.
percent, 100%, mate. I love seeing people
Yeah.
do dumb shit.
That's
Yeah.
it.
We
for
enjoy having
science.
a laugh at someone else's expense.
Fucking oath we do.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah,
it is.
exactly. Speaking of recording things, so Dan, give us your origin. Like, how did you get into streaming? Like, where did it all start for you?
Honestly, it was a bit of an accident because I guess we should probably start sort of towards the start. As a kid, I was always playing games.
Yeah,
You know,
starting at the start's always good.
it is. I mean, it's the logical
I mean-
step. So I started playing games as a kid. You know, I remember the first ever video game that I ever saw in my life was the Mario Brothers on the original Nintendo. And
yeah.
I was like, whoa, what's this? Like, you can control it on the screen. Like, I must have been about 4 or 5 years old, if that. And I was like, whoa, you can control it on the screen. That's amazing. And then we had like, I never had these consoles, by the way. This was a friend of the family.
Yeah.
You know, I think we all knew somebody as kids who had the consoles. You know what I mean? And you know, they always had all the cool stuff. And
It was who had the best game, and they needed to bring it to be able to play it with you.
exactly, yeah. Maybe you don't get that anymore, do you? Like, oh, bring that game round, like bring Worms Armageddon round. Like, you don't really get that anymore. But yeah, you know,
GoldenEye 64.
GoldenEye, yeah. If it didn't work, you'd blow on the cartridge and then put it back in, and it'd work, and you'd be like, "Yes, fixed it."
I am a god.
So GoldenEye was so that was the GameCube, wasn't it? That was on GameCube.
No,
Nintendo 64.
64.
Okay, so I played
Yeah.
that with my cousin, split screen 4 ways on a tiny ass screen.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
like a 14-inch CRT.
yeah.
Yeah, and you
that's
just
right.
got this tiny little screen in the corner, and
Yeah,
you're
it's
like,
like, don't look at
And
my
Everyone
side.
gets 6
And
pixels
the
and
one
no
person-
more.
And the one person that picked Odd Job always ended up like going home with bruises because
You had
of
to
the...
ban
yeah.
Yeah.
Odd Job, it wasn't fair. Like, he could just run under everything. Like, he could just like blast around and stay out of trouble. But yeah,
Played
no.
as Jaws, you're a baller.
GoldenEye 64 was so good, man. Like, I remember growing up and playing games, and like I live with my I used to go around my dad's at the weekend and stuff like that. And like, I had a friend, and he'd come over as well, and we'd play a few rounds of GoldenEye, and then we'd end up fighting. Like, we'd end up like proper scrapping with each other. And all I
Yeah.
remember is my dad just like shouting, saying, "Stop fucking around! Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you fighting over a game?" And we're like, "I don't know. We're just fighting because we're annoyed at each other for no reason."
Yeah, kids these days will never understand the full like couch co-op experience.
Oh
I
yeah,
use the term co-op loosely.
yeah,
know.
absolutely. You don't get it anymore. Like, you know, even looking for games on PlayStation, and you know, Lady Exeter and I will be like, "Oh, why don't we play a game, or why don't we find a game to play co-op and stuff like that?" And there's no real, like, from what we've seen, you've got things like Overcooked, which can be a lot of fun, but for the most part, there are very few like actual couch experiences, like playing a game together, like next to somebody else. You know, like the good old days.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah,
it's
good
all
luck playing
online.
Tarkov on the couch with your partner.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You killed me.
Well, how would that work?
Me,
One
me, 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 me.
one person controls the walking around, and the other would control the mouse, and like one would shoot and one would walk. Like, there's no.
That's totally a stream idea for you there, mate.
It
You
actually
can
is.
totally pull
Yeah,
that off.
Yeah,
that's
I think
content
I've
right
seen
there.
Shroud
Interesting.
do
It'd be like a
something
night
similar.
of content for you.
yeah.
When Shroud
I-
broke his
I
arm, I think
can't.
he did something similar.
That's genius.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was an
I-
Overwatch though, but it was kind
I
of.
would imagine
he's
that
still
Shroud
bidding
would've, like,
people.
Yeah.
Shroud would have just got like a trackball and then just still like run clinics on people.
You still wreck
Yeah,
everyone.
exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, diverting back.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Dan's
yeah.
Origin story. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I was taking a trip down memory lane there. Yeah. So I was playing games as a kid. Playing games like all the time. Remember getting a PlayStation Like I got a second-hand PlayStation, and a load of unofficial games. And yeah, I just got hooked. I was playing like Metal Gear Solid. I was playing Final Fantasy. Like I grew up on all of these single player because we didn't have internet. I grew up on all these single player story games. And I just that was the gaming. That was gaming for me. Like just playing these like story like interactive immersive experiences. Then moved on to the PS2. I was really lucky that I managed to beg my dad to buy me a PlayStation for I think it was for my birthday. It had already been out a little while, but there was a Metal Gear Solid 2 package that you could buy. When consoles used to come with a game, I don't know if they still do, but they did like a Metal Gear Solid edition, and I really wanted it. And I saved up some pocket money from doing jobs and stuff, and I went halves, and we managed to get this PS2. And then yeah, fast forward like I don't know how many years, probably 15, 16 years or so. Yeah. After being told my whole life I was never going to get a job in the games industry.
Money doing that.
Oh yeah.
I'd finished exactly. I'd finished uni because I suppose we should probably go back a little bit. So I was in the army for 8 years. Then I went to uni because I didn't know what else to do after leaving the army. I knew that I didn't want to be in the army, but I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do on the outside. So I went to uni for 3 years, paid for by the Ministry of Defense, and I did a music technology course. So I got Bachelor of Science in music tech, excelled in sort of the game audio. Naturally, that was the thing that I was most interested in. And generally speaking, if I'm interested in something, like I will get good at it. Like for example, I was interested in music, so I started learning the guitar. Like taught myself how to play the guitar. I did like a load of music production and stuff like that. And then I was like, well, I really like music. I'm really interested in it. I've got an opportunity to go to uni to learn something, go do a Bachelor of Science in music tech, do some game audio. Got to the end of my degree, and we have a module. I think I'm not sure how it is for you guys over there, but in the UK, you do a module where you do like a graduate market research, and essentially, we're looking into jobs that are based on what we've studied. And for me, there was probably 3 jobs in Europe that were kind of like looking for my field. Like, and these were jobs that always ask for things with experience, like asking for people with experience. And obviously I had no experience. I had no professional experience in the game audio world at all. One of these jobs was in London, and I think 2 of them were in France. So, I basically got to the end of my uni course, and I was like, I can't get a job basically doing what I want to do. And this is where I bought my first PC, right? So in November 2017, sorry. Bought my first PC, and I was playing in a Discord, a really like modest, humble Discord. Like this was back when I didn't really know anything. I didn't know what I was doing. I went on the Tarkov forums. I was like, I'm brand new to PC, never played on a PC before. I had Tarkov because my brother showed me some Tarkov like YouTube videos, like the pre-alpha footage and stuff like that, and I was just like, I had a PlayStation at the time, and I was like, if I get a PC, I'm getting Tarkov. Like that's the first game I'm getting. And I got Tarkov. And I got PUBG actually. I got Tarkov and I got PUBG. I spent about 45 minutes on PUBG, and I still have 45 minutes on PUBG. And this is like 5 years ago, right? And now I've got like 9,000 hours in Tarkov. But yeah, essentially, I bought my first PC with some of my savings left over from the army. Started playing Tarkov. Got onto the forums. Hey guys, I'm brand new. I have no idea what I'm doing. Got invited to a Discord. I was like, oh, what's Discord? And I was like, oh, it's just this thing. You download it. And I was like, okay, cool. So obviously, got started with Discord.
Facebook for gamers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
and,
basically.
There was just like, let's teach you the game. Like these guys have been playing for a little while already. This was back in November 2017. So we was on 0.4 at the time.
Very early.
Yeah.
Super early. Like if you think Tarkov's in a bad state now, back then you couldn't stay on a map for too long because it would literally deteriorate. You could feel the server instance deteriorating over time. Like that's like if you think it's bad now, guys.
If you use certain weapons, the game would crash in the entirety of the whole world.
Yeah, exactly. They needed BSU needed to remove the 40mm grenade launcher. from
that's
from
right,
the
the
game
underbarrel, isn't
because the underbarrel, because it would crash the game. Like the whole game would just crash when you used it. So it was.
That blows my mind. Like,
It's amazing, and I think that's why I get a little bit frustrated when people do say it's been the same since day one. Like it hasn't been the same since day one. Like no, it's not perfect. It has a lot of problems. We run into these issues every single day, but like, credit where credit's due. Tarkov has come from so humble beginnings to something nobody ever envisioned. Like the depth and the scale of the game now, as well as the plans. It's crazy. So
yeah. I would
I'd
liken
even
it
say-
almost to like an 8-bit game going to a 64-bit game. Like, it's just, it's massive. Like, anyone who doesn't, like Dan said, anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, go back and look at the early footage from Tarkov, and the quality is just, it's horrific. Like, the grass is literally like 8 pixels wide blocks. Like, trees were like 2D, like, freaking graphics spray painted on a wall. Like, now we've got like full motion trees that, still annoying as heck, but they're there.
It is
I
what it
mean,
is.
It's amazing. The gun models are like just
yeah, I mean we didn't even have anti-aliasing back there, so it was like jaggies everywhere. Like everything was just like, unless you were looking at a square face on, you were looking at like all this, like
Outline.
just it was horrible, man. It was so like taxing on our eyes, but like you just sort of got on with it because there was nothing.
Yeah, what you were used to.
Yeah, exactly, and there still isn't really anything that comes close to Tarkov in my opinion. Even we've got all these imitators like, oh, we're gonna make a Tarkov killer, like we're making this game mode, and then 6 months in, they completely drop support for the game mode because it's I'm
Or
still waiting,
a
guys.
week and everyone's like, "This is shit. I'm gonna go play Tarky."
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
mean, Rust and DayZ are really the only two things that come to mind that are even close, and they're really not the same thing.
No, they're unique in their own way, and
They're very unique.
I think that's what I think that's why they're so popular, is because they do something that is unique. They do something that no one else can do as well, in their own fields. And I think that Tarkov is up there in the same sort of way. But yeah, so we got to, where were we? We got to first PC.
You got your PC, you got Tarkov.
Yes. Started chatting with some of the guys in Discord, and they were like, "Have you ever heard of Twitch?" And at the time, I was kind of vaguely familiar with what streaming was. I knew that people did it, but I never really. What I said at the time was like, why would I watch someone play a game? Like, why would I watch someone stream? Because if I'm going to be at my PC or whatever, like I'm going to be playing the game, right? I'd rather play the game than watch it. And
That's question one that you get asked when you tell people you're a Twitch streamer.
yeah,
People
exactly.
pay money to watch you play a game.
That's right.
Why don't they just play it themselves?
They're
Yeah,
not as good as I am.
Yeah.
I don't know, most of my community is probably better than me. To be fair, they do slap me about
That's
quite a bit.
rubbish. I've
Dunno.
watched you play, man. You're a monster.
It's pre-recorded. It's Photoshop.
Paid actors.
Yeah,
Paid
exactly.
actors.
So, yeah, they sort of introduced me to Twitch, and they were like, "Well, this is Twitch. You play games, and you can speak to people. They come in the chat and stuff." And I was like, you know what? I'll give it a go for a bit of fun. So I set up my my Twitch account. And I'd like go around different streams. Like I remember watching, like back in the day, I used to watch when I had time to watch streams. I'd watch Deadly Slob, Clean. We had Smoke, like all the guys who were at the time like the top row. We had all the old OGs. We had Breaking Skulls. Cotton. Cotton was there like kicking ass and having a good time as well. It was just good times, man. Like it was such a different vibe back then. Because nobody really knew what was going on. Nobody knew what they were doing. Like everyone was just like having a good time, like trying to kill each other in Tarkov. And yeah, I fired up a Twitch account, and I was like, yeah, cool. I'm gonna try and stream. I had like a 1060 and a 7600, and I used to stream. because that had NVENC. It was one of the first. I guess it was one of the first GPUs that had NVENC encoder. So I started streaming on that at like 540p or something.
Oh wow.
Like 540p. Like I could do 540p 60 FPS, or I could do 720p 30. And I was constantly flicking between the two, trying to find out what people preferred. And I think they went with the 720p 30 in the end. And yeah, it was great, man. It was great. Like we played a lot of Tarkov. We were playing a lot of like Crossout as well, which is it's a free to play, kind of like a Mad Max kind of game where you build like vehicles and you fight them against each other and stuff. It's really fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'd definitely check it out, and it's free as well. So definitely go and have a look at that.
So how long ago was that you started streaming then?
My first stream would have been February 2018. That was my first ever stream. Yeah. And then it just sort of went from there.
What did you think when you started your stream? Like, where did you see it going? Like, did you have any expectations at all?
No, I mean, I don't think you can really have any expectations when you're starting out. For me, it was just like, I guess in a way, it was probably me procrastinating, because I didn't particularly want to look for jobs at the time. I'd just done 8 years in the army, 3 years at uni, like full on intense, training, operational tours, just working. Uni was super intense. Like I've put everything into it. I did quite well at uni. And then, I got to a point in my life where I was like, I actually have nothing to do. Like, I'm going to chill out. I still had a little bit of savings left over from the army as well. And I was like, I'm just going to chill out and play some games.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't ever expect, I never, ever expected anything to happen. I was just playing games, man. And we were meeting people. A lot of our, OGs here in the Dink squad, Jimbo, for example, like he really, really massively supported me in the early days. Like, he was the first person to like gift subs. He was gifting subs like left and right, and we got to a stage where we were looking at the channel, and I was like, bloody hell, like we started getting our first payouts and stuff, and I was like this might actually happen, like this might be a thing.
Yeah.
So like, we are making money, No.
So definitely didn't expect that you'd end up with currently just shy of 24,000 followers on Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting close to 4,000 subs on YouTube. Like, considering where you started, that's fucking monster, man. That's like, that's awesome. Awesome.
I don't. It's funny when you say it.
Has it just been steady growth? Or is it like, was there like a moment that sticks out in your past, like a breakout moment where you went like totally viral or something like that?
Yeah, it was kind of before patch 12. So before like the big massive boom in popularity, we were, because there wasn't very many of us, there was a lot less saturation in the category at the time. So there was a lot less streamers, both because of like the technological side of it. Like now it's easier than ever to stream nowadays. Like any PC components that you buy now, you can stream on basically. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But back then, 2018, it wasn't that accessible. So there was a lot less of us streaming. There was a lot less people sort of playing Tarkov at the time. So, I definitely got extremely lucky, extremely fortunate in my accidental timing. I didn't know what Tarkov was in terms of its potential. And what sort of happened as the game started getting more and more popular, I just stayed super consistent. We were streaming, we had a schedule, we were doing everything right. And, people were coming back each day, people were coming back. And as more and more people were getting interested in the game, they were... we were regularly on the top row. We were regularly on the top row back then with like 40, 50, 60 viewers. We had like 30, 40 viewers. You'd be on the top row of Tarkov because there wasn't the same kind of it just wasn't as big. You know, you'd have smoke with like 1,000, you'd have clean would have like 3, 4, 5, 600, and then there would be me with like 45. You know, and
45 is still decent. Like 45. I know a bunch of people that would kill to have 45 average.
Yeah, for sure. It's you know,
I'm not at that point.
What I'd say is don't worry too much about like numbers and stuff like that. Streaming now is very different to what streaming was when I first started. And I think this is where I kind of like struggled a little bit. What I didn't do, now I mentioned patch 12 previously. What I didn't do when patch 12 hit was I didn't kind of like diversify my content.
Yeah.
I didn't put nearly as much effort into YouTube. And I did not I didn't read the room as well as I could have done. When patch 12 hit, that was when we got this massive influx of new players, and with that we have obviously had a massive influx of new streamers as well. And a lot of these streamers were playing in a very flashy, exciting, you know, fast-paced kind of way. And that really took off. Like that massively took off. This aggressive PvP playstyle back in, you know, when sort of Labs, well, just after Labs was introduced, because Labs came before patch 12, if I remember rightly, and it was with patch 12 with that massive boom, that this sort of explosion of fast-paced, aggressive playstyles really started to become the forefront of what people wanted to see in Tarkov. Now, because of my background, because of my experience, and because of just the way that I you know, really enjoy Tarkov. Like if you remember back to what we were saying earlier, I grew up on immersive story games, and I love that feeling of being immersed in a world, in like a game world. And I kind of put that into my Tarkov. I guess I probably still do, but like back then I'd put that into my Tarkov gameplay, and we'd play like super tactically. We'd play like, imagine if BSG was like, you know, designing a trailer for the game. Like I always thought of myself as playing in a way that would fit within those trailers that we see for like different patches and stuff. But that really got pushed to the wayside, and this explosion of like, you know, fast-paced tournament style PvP really took off. And you know, I didn't follow that curve. So as Tarkov was going like this, and it was getting so busy and so popular, and everyone was getting hyped up, I was still sort of like Tarkov was doing this, and I was just sort of going along here doing my own thing. And we kind of got buried, I think, in many ways, because of that. And you know, I'm not for a moment, you know, blaming anybody for that. You know, it's absolutely my responsibility to ensure that we're pushing the channel in the way that is good for business, is good for, you know, good for myself, good for my mental health. Because, you know, the one thing that I always promise my guys is that I'll always stay true to them. You know, if I'm pissed off, I'll tell them. If I'm happy, I'll tell them. If I'm enjoying the game, I'll tell them. If I'm hating the game and I think that the rogues are complete bullshit and they shouldn't be laser beaming me through rocks, I'll tell them. You know, and I guess, you know, I've been really, really lucky, really fortunate to be surrounded by so many supportive people. And, you know, I think my biggest, I don't know, it's not advice, but like my biggest, the biggest factor, I think, to me still being able to stream full time now was that I accidentally got into Tarkov and accidentally started streaming at a time where it hadn't grown yet. Do you know what I'm saying? Like starting streaming back in 2018.
So you got in at a point where you could build a solid audience before it got saturated.
On Twitch as well. Like, because the growth on Twitch back then was really good. We were getting 40, 50, 60, 100, 120, 150 followers a day.
That's just like wild.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, I would, you know, we don't even get sort of 10% of that. Just as an example, like nowadays is, you know, you don't get that kind of growth or exposure or anything on Twitch anymore because
unless you have something viral happen on like YouTube or TikTok or something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And even then, the conversion rate is like real fucking low.
Yeah. And would you attribute that to the fact that, as far as Tarkov streamers goes, it's quite a saturated game in terms of stream? Like, there's so many streamers to watch.
Yeah,
playing Tarkov.
yeah. There is, and we were speaking about this yesterday on stream as well. Like, and this is not a dig at anybody. I don't want anybody to be upset or feel bad about this. This is just an observation of statistics. I think one of my guys said yesterday there was approximately, I think it was like 1,000 Tarkov streamers at the time with less than 2 viewers at the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot.
It was
crazy.
It was something crazy, yeah.
I saw a post on Twitter the other day. There was a guy who's been streaming for 3 years and he just hit affiliate.
Wow.
He's been streaming for 3 years and just made it to the affiliate program.
Hey,
I thought that was
props for keeping it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some serious staying power.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's tough because I would never want anyone to think that I was being condescending when I'm making these observations or anything like that. But if you are struggling, and a lot of people are, especially now because it is so saturated because there are so many people. Yeah. Not only is Twitch saturated, but YouTube is saturated. The social media platforms like Twitter, TikTok, they're all saturated to fuck as well. Like,
but
it's
the thing
so.
on that,
Go on.
it doesn't just because something's saturated doesn't mean you shouldn't give it a crack, because no one else will do anything exactly the same way that you do.
Absolutely, yeah.
If you want to make YouTube tutorials, make them. Go nuts, because no one else is going to do it exactly the same way that you do, and you might stumble onto an insight that no one else has thought of yet.
Yeah, absolutely well said.
Or you might have an idea for something you can do for your stream, and it fucking takes off.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you are struggling, like how many days a week do you stream, Dan?
5 days, Monday to Friday.
5. All right. So, so if you're a streamer and you happen to be watching or listening to this, if you're streaming 5-6 days a week and you're struggling to grow your stream, drop a day and spend that extra day actually hanging out with other streamers playing the game that you're wanting to grow with, and make some friends.
Network yourself.
Yeah. So
it's important.
So that's networking, but that's networking done properly. Networking from a business sense is finding people with opportunities that you can milk for your own benefit. I'm not talking about that sort of networking, but make yourself some streamer friends. Other people that are playing the games, whatever it is you're playing. We're assuming Tarkov because, we're all Tarky streamers here. But make yourself some friends. Either A, you can end up getting some collabs out of it. B, if you're streaming if you're streaming after these guys, when they finish up, they'll see your name in the list. They'll come and raid you, and then you'll end up growing from that. And then also find out the guys who are hanging out after you, or the guys that are streaming after you, and make sure you raid out at the end of every stream, because 9 times out of 10, these guys are going to come and hang out with you in your stream before they go live themselves, and you're going to make some more friends that way. But the thing with Twitch, it's a lot about community. Like you don't see the community thing on YouTube anything like you do on Twitch. Twitch is all about community and friendships, man. Twitch is really fucking wholesome.
It is, I agree. And I even after streaming for 4.5, coming up to 5 years now, the advice that you're giving with regards to moderating the amount of time that you are streaming and making sure that you are dedicated time to making videos, social media stuff, networking, like that rings true to me as well. Like I'm listening to this and I'm thinking to myself, like, I am guilty. I am so guilty of like hitting the go live button and doing like 11-hour streams back, like just 5 days a week,
Back to back to back.
and
to
then
back.
getting to Friday and just being exhausted, having absolutely no energy to make content, no energy to sit in other streams. Because when you've just done 60 hours of streaming in a week, like the last thing that you want to
just
do
want
is
to fucking sleep.
yeah, exactly.
You don't want to talk to anybody. You want to just shut yourself in a hole for 2 days. And do
The
nothing.
last thing that you want to do is to be sitting there watching other streams. The last thing that you want
watching
to do
yourself parrot back and be an idiot.
exactly, yeah, making videos of yourself doing dumb stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's really, really good advice for sure. And to go back to the story of the dude who just made affiliate after 3 years, like what I did back in the day when I first started streaming is I made sure that it wasn't just Tarkov that I was playing. So you remember a game that I mentioned, Crossout. What we would do, some streams would start by playing Tarkov. Some streams would start by playing Crossout. And what I tried to do was sort of create this cross-pollination of viewers. So Tarkov viewers, I would introduce them to Crossout. Crossout viewers, I'd introduce them to Tarkov. But the thing that kept it all together was the stream and the schedule, and like it kind of built from there, because I was sort of introducing these two communities to these two different games. And the beauty of Crossout as well, right, is that it was free. There was absolutely no risk. So, for example, in Tarkov, when you play, you can lose your gear. And I know a lot of people don't like losing their gear. They don't like dying, that sort of thing. But with Crossout, it was free. It was multiplayer, and it was fun. And, that helped us to make memories with our community, like straight off the rip, like right off the bat. We were having fun, we were playing games together, and then it was like, right guys, we're going to play some Tarkov now, and we'd focus, we'd do our thing in Tarkov, and the people that we got interested in from Crossout, they were like, oh, what's this Tarkov all about? Because remember back then it was super niche back then. It was like, what's this Tarkov game? And I sort of introduced players to the game that way, and that's how I grew the stream. That's how I grew the community, and that's how I got out of the that's how I got out of the 1,000 channels with less than 2 viewers, because I was playing games where I could be higher on the search results. I was playing games which weren't as saturated, which weren't as big and as hype, but did have dedicated followings. And the reason why I'm banging on about all this is because I'm thinking about our mate with 3 years to get affiliate. Like, the fact that he managed to get affiliate is amazing. Like, it's an incredible achievement. But I can't help but think to myself, if someone had said, hey, dude, if you really want to push for affiliate, let's try and like diversify your content. Maybe we could break into some other categories that aren't so saturated, and you can sort of bring those viewers across, like get your name out there. I know it sounds cheesy, but
it is what it is.
Yeah, get yourself noticed. Get your name out there playing a game that isn't so saturated. Make friends in those communities, and then say, hey guys, have you ever heard of Tarkov? Like, we're gonna play some of that today, and like bring them across. Yeah, exactly. And if you could bring them across, you will pull those people from other categories into the category that you really, really, really want to play. And if you've made those memories, if you've had fun with these, with your community members in a different category, then those that really, really enjoy the stream and are curious about this game that maybe they haven't seen before, or they've heard about and never played, like they will come along. They will be like, oh wow, what's this game? Like, I've never really seen it before, or I've never found a stream that I like watching in Tarkov. You might be the streamer that they really like to watch, but haven't been able to watch play Tarkov before. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so easy to just like tunnel vision and I want to play Tarkov, and you do go for years without going the way that you want to go. It's so easy to do that, and I'm guilty, man. Honestly, like for the last couple of weeks, I've really been doubling down on YouTube content. We've been testing a load of stuff thanks to offline co-op, which has been amazing.
Offline co-op is so good.
It's the best, man. Like, it's so good, dude.
One thing they need to do though is have the option to turn off AI.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. 100% needs to be an option. I think that should be the only option, though. I don't think they should mess with anything else. I don't want bosses. I don't want horde mode. The server load would just be immense. I mean, sure, add it if they can handle it, but based on previous experience with anything BSG does, probably not.
Yeah. Well, we tried to do an offline co-op to get the thumbnail ready, right?
Oh,
And yeah,
you're so bad at the game. You died to a normal AI scav twice.
Twice, yeah. But there was
Beamed
no.
by Scavs.
I don't know if this is a new change or not, but the scavs aren't letting you know that they're there now, so they'll just come out and shoot. And so you think that it's a player scav or it's a PMC, and you're just getting spammed by fucking for shit from 2 meters away, and it's just a scav.
I mean,
He hasn't told you he's there.
You don't need to worry. You shouldn't be waiting for scavs to tell you that they're there. You need to be checking your corners.
I just had a thought. I think that what if this is just total hypotheses, right? What if this is actually a cunning plan by BSG to lighten up the server load by spawning scavs with shotguns right behind people to kill them and get the raid to end?
Yeah.
I mean, it's genius. I love a good conspiracy as much as the next guy.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I don't think that's an outrageous claim, but
I mean,
I don't know.
it's crazy
I don't know,
enough to be true, isn't it?
there's our Twitter hot take for the week.
That's
Yeah.
it. I like it. Yeah,
I know.
Dam's
One of the
conspiracy
things.
corner.
One of the things that I like BSG, like the things that BSG does the most, I suppose, is how active they are in the community. Because you don't see it with a lot of game developers. No, that could just be it could be quite ignorant, I suppose. I don't play every game, but from the games I have played, like some really big titles, a company the size of BSG, as to how active they are, as to how much they listen to the community. They're not going to please everyone. You're never going to please everyone. They're always going to make a change that someone's not going to like, or they're not going to think that they're doing anything about whatever. But the reality is they're active, they're listening, they're doing podcasts, they're changing the game to fit how, I suppose, what they want and what they vision, but how people want to see the game too. You don't get that with a lot of other games, so kudos to them. But yeah, there are a couple of things that would be nice to change. If in an ideal world, if everyone got to have like one thing that they could sort of have influence on, and then put it to a vote, I think there'd be.
We could, if you've got any ideas like that, you could always just pitch it to your favorite emissary, and they can send it up the chain.
That's true.
I mean, that's something that we learned about when we had a raid.
That's right.
Was that
we learned the secret.
Maybe we can get Dan's suggestion to be, better than a Afraid's one that we gave him.
I've just had a thought.
Maybe.
So maybe what we do is we just interview every BSG emissary, and we
let's get them all on.
Let's keep pitching the same idea. We may, we may be able to slowly change the game.
That's it. Accuracy by volume.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Want sharks with laser beams.
Yeah.
What about just ill-tempered sea bass?
So coming back to it, look, we like to know where names come about, and so how did your name come about?
So
Your name's not really Dan, is it?
It is Dan. Yeah, it is. I promise. So Exert is the name that I used to go by when I did all my music stuff back in the day. So if you go on Spotify and put Exert in, you'll probably find some stuff in there that I've done before. You don't have to, but don't press the play button. Just listen. Just look and I wouldn't want to insult your ears. But yeah, so Exert was my sort of stage name, if you like, that I used to do all my music through. And when I started streaming,
albums out. Nice.
Yeah, I was pretty busy, to be fair.
I'm 100% listen to that after this.
I wouldn't bother, honestly. You wasted time.
Quite a handsome wee picture you've got there.
I see.
Oh my.
Verified artist too, for those that are listening.
Hey.
Really?
That's
On verified? I'm a verified.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. I didn't know that. I haven't touched music for like 5 years. Honestly, I haven't played with music for so long. I'm surprised it's still up there, to be fair.
Put a link in the show notes for anybody that wants to see that.
Yeah. I'll just paste that in there.
Yeah, if you like electronic stuff, drum and bass, drum and bass with a bit of like a rock vibe ish, then check it out.
That's right up Red's alley.
100% it is.
Mm.
He bangs it out when he's driving the forklift,
No, on the way to and from work, mate.
Yeah.
That's the
At
way to
work,
do it.
I've got like a two-way in one ear and listening for people screaming for me to stop in the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's very responsible to completely shut yourself off from the environment when you're, operating machinery.
Operating machinery, maybe.
It's a really dumb idea.
Very dumb. But yeah, man. Sorry.
So what sort of stuff were you doing in the army?
I was a mechanic.
You're a mechanic.
Yeah, so I did
What sort
mechanics.
of stuff did you mechanic on?
Well, mostly
Anything you can tell us? Like
some stuff
I know
I'm not
the
allowed.
Secret Act is a
Yeah.
thing,
I'm
but-
I'm just thinking and like, what can I actually tell you? Essentially, obviously, you know what Land Rovers are. Yeah, we all know Land Rovers. So
Yeah,
we worked on a lot.
What are they?
Giraffe tractors.
I've never seen one before. We don't have them here.
So I did a lot of work on Land Rovers. I did stuff with. I guess it's not really a secret. I worked with
Oh, we
what's
don't want
known as.
MI6 hunting you down or anything, mate. Like,
I'll be fine. Yeah, if you don't see me after this podcast, guys, then you know what's happened.
We know what's happened.
They've taken me. I worked with the ground-based air defense guys, who essentially dealt with air defense stuff. They deal with the surface-to-air missiles and stuff like that.
yeah, they sit around and drink beer all day until something needs to get shot out of the sky. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And these things were on the back of trailers, which were essentially just a trailer. I know it sounds cool, like ground-based air defense, like missiles and that sort of thing. It sounds really cool, right? But it was literally just a trailer with like a. If you ever seen one of the phalanx, like things that used to shoot mortars out of the sky when they'd come in, on the side of ships and stuff like that. They're basically one of them, right? But with missiles. But yeah, worked on that stuff. We went to Sweden for a bit, and we were working with like there was a big like 10-wheeled vehicle out there that we got trained on and never saw ever again in my career, which was brilliant. So they basically paid me for a month to live in Sweden, like in a hotel. Yeah, exactly. Everything was paid for by Saab. Like, it was amazing. Like, we got a Volvo to drive around in. And at the end, they were like, yeah, you're probably never going to see this vehicle. And we're like, really? You just trained us for a month? And I think it was basically just a contractual obligation that they needed to send people out before they went out on operational tour. They basically needed to, they needed to train people on this vehicle or on this platform as a contract between the British MOD and Saab over in Sweden. Soon after that, Saab went bust. If I remember rightly, they stopped making cars. So maybe
shortly after that.
I think I single-handedly,
Ended the Saab.
ended Saab. I must have left a
That'll
bad
be the
impression.
caption for the vlog.
Yeah.
DanExert ended Saab.
It's true. It's true.
there you go. This is a YouTube title.
If it wasn't public knowledge, it is now.
It is now.
Yeah.
It is exactly
So-
MI6 may be coming for you. They want
So-
tips.
quite possibly.
Given that you're in the military for 8 years, how much of your military experience can you or have you applied to the way you play Tarkov?
Probably too much. And I still to this day apply too much military experience to the game. Like, back in my day, right? It was the game was fairly tactical. People would do stuff that you'd expect, right? And I as a Tarkov player, I grew up in this tactical environment. I had all this experience from my army days, etc., etc. And these habits do carry into my gameplay now. Like when I'm clearing corners, I'm pieing corners and stuff like that. Or I'm like clearing a room, clearing a building or whatever. I'm doing it like super methodically, and I'm like checking every corner, got my flashlight on and all this cool stuff, right? And like someone will just run out at the end and just go, and I'm dead. And I'm like, And I think sometimes I apply my own knowledge and experience to what I think the other player's going to do. And chat always takes the piss out of me for this, because I'll be in a fight with somebody, and you know that meme when they've got like all these equations coming up on the screen,
Yeah.
and it's like all these like algebra and like formulas and shit. Like my brain is doing all that, and chat always makes fun of me, and they're like, Dan, you know the guy's just going to straight line it to your last known position, right? Like he's just going to sprint over or whatever. I'm going on this crazy flank. Like I'm thinking like, okay, I've got like 7 scavs over here. Maybe the scav boss is over there. So I'm going to take a route over this way, and I'm going to crawl through the bushes here. I'm going to go along through the trench, and then I'm going to get up, and then I'm thinking about all these things.
Yeah.
And chat's like, Dan, the guy's just going to sprint to where you were. Like, and then I turn around and he's just there like running along, like, you know, trying to get the kill, like trying to get his last USET kill or whatever, bear kill.
Playing like someone who hasn't experienced any sort of real life military ops or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's a blessing and a curse really, because like sometimes it works really well, and I'll call a flank. Like, I think that guy's going to do this from this direction because of what's happening on the map and because of the cover he's got. Like, this is the most likely route he's going to take, so I'm going to hold that. And he'll just pop up in front of me. My sights are ready, boom. You know, and it feels really good. It's like, you know, understanding how flanks work, understanding how, like, infantry tactics work and situational awareness, understanding the human, like, psychology and desire to survive, right? Because you know the human nature is always to stay alive in real life.
Fight or flight.
Exactly. They're either gonna fight to stay alive, or they're gonna get out of there, get out of the situation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And knowing which one to do.
Yeah, that definitely helps. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, it's pretty funny because, you know, like I say, I'll be there hatching this master plan, and by the time I've like decided what I'm gonna do, the other guy's just extracted. I'm like, all right, well, you know, I can talk a good game, but you know, in practice, when it comes to military stuff, like things happen in Tarkov so quickly, and players are so unpredictable that sometimes, you know, you just gotta send it. Sometimes you just gotta send it, and you're like, if I die, I die, whatever. Like, we'll, you know, it's just a bit of fun. And you just got to get in
I'll
there.
go do 2 scav runs on woods and I'll make the money back. Like, I don't give a shit.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was funny on Monday, me and Nobby were raiding together, and we went into customs, and we literally from spawn chased these guys all the way through the map, and then back to where we spawned, and only just barely caught them before they extracted. And we just couldn't believe that these guys were outpacing us the whole time. It's like, are they freaking Superman or the Flash? Like, we couldn't believe it, eh, Nob?
It wasn't just that though. One guy, he said he was. Yeah, they killed everything in their path, so there was nothing left for us for a start. They had 80 plus kilos on their person.
Jesus.
We only just managed to drop one of the duo, and the other guy ran to extract. But how they managed to run around, and we were sprinting from.
We were moving.
You know, from
we
spot
didn't
to
loot
spot.
anything.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, who are these people? Are you saying Bolt? Like,
Yeah,
what the
it
hell?
was such a wasted raid. But just chasing.
Well, you got a story out of it.
I
Yeah,
got a shooter
not
ball
that
shot
much
out
of a
it.
waste.
Oh, there you go. You see, not such a
Yeah.
waste after all. Yeah.
Progress is progress.
You'll be surprised how fast people can move for sure.
Yeah, it is true. But at the same time, we really wanted that juicy boy.
We did.
It's always the way.
He was like
just
this
been
close
better.
to dying.
Yeah. Okay. This is a really important question.
Yeah.
What is the Dink squad?
Yeah, we got to know the answer to this one.
And
What is it?
We need the full background. Yeah.
Yeah, what's the Dink
Give us
squad?
a background on this one.
Tell us. Please.
Well, the Dink squad is it can't be defined. Like, it is what it is.
Well, I reckon you're about to.
I'm gonna try. So the Dink originated from one of our guys. His name is Snek, and I think he was our first ever subscriber on Twitch. He was the guy that introduced me to the old Discord, the first Discord that we were talking about earlier. And he always used to say, "I just dinked a guy. I dinked a scav, dinked a guy." And I was like, "What does that even mean? Like, what is dink? Like, what's a dink?" He was like, you know when you shoot someone in the head and it like hits their helmet and it makes like this dink, like it's like a
Yeah.
ping. It pings off the
It
helmet
was,
or
it
whatever.
was an old Counter Strike sound, like an
Exactly.
OG
Yeah.
Counter Strike sound. Like when you like one of those times when you had a helmet and your helmet like tanks a shot, it would make this dink sound.
Yeah. Exactly. That's
Scare the
that's
crap
what it
out
is.
of you.
So that's the dink. And then when we started getting subscribers, on Twitch, and we wanted a name for our community, like, because Sneck is his name. He was always saying, "Oh yeah, Dink's a guy, like Dink this, Dink that." And I was like, you know what? We're just gonna call it the Dink Squad. We're just gonna call it the Dink Squad because I couldn't think of anything at the time, and it just kind of stuck. Like, and it's a bit cheesy. Like thinking about it now, it is a bit of a cheesy name. It's a bit tongue in cheek, But at the end of the day, I think the Dink Squad sort of like, I think it kind of encapsulates and represents that we're not like super duper serious. Like it's not a super serious thing. Like at the end of the day, our main objective is to have fun, right? Is to have a good time, get away from real life, play some video games, make some friends, hang out, whatever, right?
At the end of the day, we're playing games. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. It's not supposed to be super duper serious or nothing like that. So it is a bit of like a little bit of fun. Poking a little bit of fun, having a cheesy sort of community name. And yeah, honestly, it just stuck. It just stayed from there. And then like 4.5 years later, like I can't change. You can't change. You can't be the Dink Squad for years and years and then change it, right? It wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be the same.
It's an institution at this point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cult even.
So, well, I mean,
Cult has such a harsh.
we gotta be careful, man.
It's got a harsh.
I'm sure there's some fanatics in there. It applies.
MI6 definitely going to be
What about sect? Sect
smashing
would
that
work.
door.
Be all over you.
They'll be banging on that door.
Yeah, it will be. They
MI6 are
got some
coming.
questions. Yeah. They're amazing. They're an amazing group of individuals from all over the world. We've got people that are 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, like super young, starting out on their first PCs. And then all the way up to people 50, 55. I think one of our community members, last time I remember them saying their age, it was like 61 or something, and they were still playing games and kicking ass. And
nice.
It's such a diverse and fascinating group of people from all over
I know
the
one of
world,
my
man.
regulars is 65.
Yeah.
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 That's awesome.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad, and the fact that you've got this 16-year-old who can chat away in the chat, and have a 60-year-old from the other side of the world chatting away in the chat about a game that they love in an environment that they're comfortable in. Like that's what it's all about for me. Like bringing people together and having that
Creating
environment.
memories. Yeah.
Yeah. When you really start to think about it, it actually blows your mind, doesn't it? And I think we were talking about this a while ago. But the ability to have a conversation with someone on the other side of the world in live time is there's something to be said about that, isn't there?
Yeah,
It
something
blows
special
my
about that.
mind that we can even do this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So Vam and Nobby are in New Zealand. I'm in Australia, and you're in England, right? And we have virtually latency-free voice chat, and we've got video.
Yeah.
Like,
And everyone from all around the world coming and chatting and hanging out as well.
A decent amount
That's
of
exactly
people
right.
watching at the same
when
time.
I was in
It's
high
crazy.
school, this is like a cyberpunk thing that we're doing right
Yeah.
now. Like,
Yeah, you'd read it in a comic book.
this
So,
is,
on Star Trek or something.
Yeah.
well, I'm talking actual cyberpunk, like the Cyberpunk 2020 pen and paper RPG, like the precursor to 2077.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is some. Yeah.
Classic, old
Yeah,
school.
I'm an old school gamer. I'm an old
Absolutely.
school gamer.
Did you play the recent 2077 that came out, Dan?
I did, yeah. You know what? I had a pretty good time with it. I will tell you, I feel like I rushed it, 100%, like I do with every like immersive story game. I always rush it, and at the end, I'm like, I fucking rushed it again. Like I'm such an idiot. But I played it on release day. It wasn't too bad. I didn't run into any game breaking bugs really. I think there was maybe once or twice where like everyone was T-posing, so I just like restarted the game and it was fine.
From what I heard, the PC version was significantly better than the console one. Like I played it on PS4, and it was like 15-year-old me was still squealing. Like, but performance wasn't that flash. I played it on my PS5, and it was even worse.
Really?
Like, yeah. Well, it was the PS4.
Oh, no.
Like they didn't have a PS5 version. You're playing the PS4 version on the PS5.
Oh right,
It
I
was
see.
even worse than playing it on the PS4.
Oh no.
Like,
I think,
and then I figured I'd revisit it down the track once they fixed it, and then play it in all its RTX glory. And yeah, that's a future Rid thing.
Yeah, it was a beautiful game.
I upgraded my computer solely to play that game with like 3080, a 5950X. I got 32 gig of RAM, and I've played an hour of it.
Yeah, it's almost disappointing.
Oh no!
I'm so bad like that. I'll buy like a $200, $300 version of a game, and I'm like, I'm gonna stream this. I got a plan, and then I just put another 1,000 hours into Tarkov.
Yeah.
I
did that with Breakpoint. I basically binned it after about 4 days.
That game was bad on release, though. Very bad on release.
I'm
Extremely
not convinced
buggy.
it's any better. Well, apparently it's better now, but I'm never going to find out. Fuck that.
Yeah,
I wanted Wildlands 2, goddammit.
Wildlands is still a great game to play, though. You jump in there with
It's
your friends,
awesome.
drive them off a cliff, and everyone's like,
Hey, I was playing it on Saturday night. I was in the top row. I had the second highest viewed stream in Wildlands on Saturday night. Fucking awesome.
And that's amazing.
That is sick, man. That is really cool.
Yeah. I was playing it in 4K with all the graphics settings cranked. It was fucking awesome. So good.
Yeah, I think
So good.
Breakpoint had a lot of potential, and they marketed it. They marketed it in a way that was like borderline false advertising, right? So
yeah.
In my opinion, what I was expecting from Breakpoint, now I shouldn't have got too excited because obviously it's Ubisoft and it would have to be, it's going to be super watered down version of anything that they try and do.
I got excited because of Wildlands.
Yeah.
And Wildlands was really good. Yeah, Wildlands was really, really good.
It was really, really good.
I was expecting this like super. I don't know why I was expecting this. Maybe because I'm a Tarkov player, but I was expecting this like super hardcore like survival experience where the first scene is like you've got like an injury on your leg and your arm, and he's like healing himself up. And this was like a brand new thing. Like we never had this in Wildlands.
You're like rubbing mud all over yourself.
Yeah, and like getting camouflaged like in Predator when he's rubbing himself like with all this mud and stuff, and he's like super sneaky and like soldiers are walking past. And then it's like you play it, and that happens in the first 20 minutes. You do all those things like one time, and then you
never do them again.
Yeah, you just sort of get thrown into the world, and you realize that there's so many more.
Oh yeah, we're the last
efficient
survivors. And then you get into the hub, and there's like 400 fucking people.
Yeah, and it's like okay.
Now
what?
Yeah. I sort of attribute the difficulty of Tarkov. If you guys remember the first time you learnt how to drive, I learnt in a manual that had no power steering, and so
I learned in a manual. Did have power steering though.
Yeah, and so
lucky bastard.
If you don't know any better, then it's not so bad. You just it's just a lot of effort to fucking turn. I attribute that to Tarkov as well. If you were to go to any other game, I think there's some truth in what you're saying there, Dan. You expect other games that brand themselves as a hardcore, intense, PvP or whatever. It's a lot easier than you go in expecting, because Tarkov has trained your mind that it is grueling, it is unforgiving, and everything else is a bit breezy. I think.
Yeah, I definitely would agree. Just keeping it on topic with Breakpoint, I think they have got a realism mode or something now, but it's for me, it's just too late, man. Like,
yeah,
do you know what I mean? I just can't. I don't know.
Well, yeah. So Saturday night we were playing Wildlands Tarkov. So I was playing with a friend of mine who's in Wales actually. So we were playing Wildlands together because we can't play Tarkov together.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
So we were playing Wildlands, and so let's make this as hard as we can. So we put it on like extreme mode, and then we turned off all the hard like a whole hard, like no mini map, no interactions with the environment telling you what buttons you need to press, nothing telling you where the missions and stuff are. And that was, I don't know. That
Impossible,
game is
probably.
it was tough, definitely tough, but you know, it's hockey players. We can fucking do this.
And
It's easy.
did you manage to do
It
it?
says
Like,
respawn.
how did it?
Yeah,
How
well,
did it go?
basically, so because of all the hours I'd put into it on console, right? So like, I can remember where the HT1 sniper rifle is. I can remember where the longest zoom optic is. Like, you can show me a map and I can point some of this stuff out. So we basically we flew around and we found like a couple of these things, and then we got this sniper rifle, so helicopters aren't a problem anymore. Now we're fighting each other to see who can shoot them down first. Like, but yeah, no, it was tough. I think we spent like 2 hours trying to take this one base that only had like 8 blokes in it, and we just kept getting rolled. But it was fun.
I mean, that's a cool experience. Like, when else are you gonna the fact that you remember trying to take on this base, like that's given you like an experience. Do you know what I mean? That's given you an experience that you'll remember, and you'll chat with your mate next time and be like, oh, do you remember when we took 2 hours to like try and take this base? And you'll have a laugh about it. And I don't think enough games nowadays give you the opportunity to have these experiences. Like, there's so many forgettable experiences. I don't remember really any parts of the Cyberpunk story. I'm going to be honest with you. I had a good time. Like, I enjoyed the game, but nothing really stood out to me as a memorable experience. But like, if we think about and really any of the Metal Gear Solid games, maybe not 5, but I don't talk about 5.
I want to say I smashed Metal Gear, like the first Metal Gear Solid, in like 3 days.
But you remember those characters. You remember the bosses. You remember the boss fights, like when you're fighting against Sniper Wolf down the alleyway, and Meryl gets shot, and then you go and fight Liquid when he's in the helicopter. Like, there's, I know the games have evolved since then. Yeah, exactly, brother.
Been too long.
Oh, don't get me excited. Tarkov.
We'll be here for hours if we get into that.
Yeah, we will. This will be a very, very different podcast. But like what Tarkov does really, really well is like, it puts you into situations, and especially if you're playing with your friends as well. Like, it puts you in situations where you create memorable experiences. Like, you have these times together where it's like, oh, do you remember when we absolutely got destroyed by that one guy on reserve? And it's like, yeah, and you can recall the events.
Yeah, like, who takes a KS-23 to reserve? Like, fuck.
Reset.
I can tell you with a lot of confidence that people aren't going to be saying that about Nuketown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Tarkov, it's like winning a hand of poker. You know what I mean? If you win a significant amount of money, you remember what you had, what cards you had, what the table had. You remember
how many guys you binned on the way to get that.
Yeah, you remember a bad raid, yeah.
You absolutely remember that guy that was camping in D2 for 48 minutes on reserve with a grenade launcher. You remember that forever. And if you don't remember it, don't worry, because chat has clipped it for you to remember forever.
Exactly. It's immortalized.
And ever.
And ever.
Yeah.
And the halls of Tarkov, Twitch will always be there.
Absolutely. I think Tarkov does amazingly well. Like, creating experiences, creating situations that you remember, and even better if you've got friends to teammates, friends to share those experiences with. Like, I think that definitely is part of Tarkov's success, and why Tarkov has been steadily growing over the last 4.5 years, 5 years, 6 years if we go to like pre-alpha times. Maybe it's the intensity and the risk and all these things. Like, I'm not a psychologist by any stretch of the imagination, but like, I know for a fact that you remember experiences that had an impact on you. And I think like the way that Tarkov's set up, each raid is different, and you never quite know who you're going to run into or what you're going to run into. Like, one raid you might be chasing down a pistol player, the next you might be the one getting chased by a 5-man or whatever, And
yeah.
it's really cool, and I think a lot of
You really
games.
can't predict it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think now Tarkov is so well known. We've already seen it with like COD and Battlefield making these Tarkov modes, right? That they drop support for like 6 months later.
Yeah.
I think games are looking at Tarkov, game development companies looking at Tarkov and understanding why do people want to play this game? Like, do they why are they addicted to Tarkov? That with the adrenaline and all the different situations and stuff. And I think what we will see eventually is, well, obviously not like clones of the game, but I think we will see this kind of psychology being applied to future games, or at least I hope so, because there's so many forgettable games out there that you just play and then you could play the game for like 3, 4, 5 hours, and then at the end someone can ask you like, what did you do in that 5 hours, and you're like, I don't know, just
Shot a helicopter down.
yeah.
Describe
one of the
up the side of a building. Not a lot else.
Yeah, and I think game companies would do really well to not copy Tarkov, but to tap into that psychology and give players memorable experiences. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just gives the players something to lose. Like that, I think that's the core concept of Tarkov, is that when you go into that raid, it's on the line. Everything you have on you is on the line. Your teammates' gear, you are there with them, and your only mission really is to get in and out of that raid in one piece.
As a team.
As a team, or by TKing your friend and taking his loot as well. I mean, he could just be a mule for taking your loot. I mean, really.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on TKs? Like, do you get upset? How do you respond to a TK when it happens? If someone's killed you and you've got good loot, say.
For me, it's not about the loot as such. Like, I feel like after like 11 wipes or however many I've been in now, for me, loot is just whatever.
It's the utter betrayal, isn't it?
What pisses me off is when I've told somebody where I am and what I'm doing, and they still killed me anyway. Like it's like 3 seconds of intense frustration, and then I laugh about it, and I'm like, it is what it is. I don't care about dying. I don't care about losing the gear. I don't care about losing the loot. But like the fact that I've told somebody what I'm doing and where I am, and they've acknowledged it, and then still kill me, I'm just like, I'm like, come on.
Follows it up is always like, you're like, oh, I'm on by red, and then oh, is that you? That's me.
Yeah. I'm at a stage in my Tarkov career where I just find it funny. Like I've been through all the stresses of learning the game. I've felt the intensity of being on your last like 1,000 rubles and needing this raid to work. Like I've been through all that. I've done all that over the years, and like, yeah, for real. Like now it's just funny, man. Like I feel terrible if I team kill one of my own guys or whatever. Like I of course I feel terrible, because I've taken them out of the raid. I've like stopped them from enjoying what the rest of the raid may have provided. But I just think it's funny, man. Like one of my guys showed us a clip of him TKing, because we've got our guys that play in the Discord, and they were on interchange. And if you imagine the computer offices at the back of, I think it was at the back of Ollie or Idea, and there was a guy in the hallway, and one friendly swung around the corner at the same time as one friendly swung through the door. So they had this guy pinched, right? And one of the guys shoots the enemy in the back of the head, kills him, and as he's dropping, the second friendly comes around the corner and he drops him as well, like in the spray. And it's just like, and you can hear it in his voice. He was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I know I just killed you. And he was just like, well, that's how it goes. Like, we both peeked the same guy at the same time. One of us is probably gonna die, and yeah, it's you have to laugh at it, man. Like you gotta laugh. Like I've seen a lot of people getting extremely frustrated and really holding a grudge and like leaving discords because of being TK'd and stuff like that.
Yeah, who would do that, Red? Who would leave a Discord call?
Look, hang on. In my defense, I left that Discord call so I didn't say something I was later going to regret.
Good
And
enough.
that's the way to do it. Honestly, that's the way to
I
do
don't
it.
have any issues.
Responsible.
I left before Nobby copped a fucking mad spray. Like, mad spray. I left because I want this to continue. So I just left.
That's all right. I don't hold grudges.
Go
I
take a
was
We
breather.
even
gone.
talk about end of wipe, last wipe, where the T7
Don't get me started on you,
T7
Van Bros.
TKs were just
Chronic.
yeah, it was not good. Like 5-man groups, and I'm just
tell you
like,
what,
don't walk in front of me, and then I turn around, I'm like, you're all in front of me.
I'll make a deal with you. If you wear T7s, I'm going to shoot you myself. And then I'll stash them for you, and you can run them off in your own time.
I'll race
If we're
you.
raiding together.
I'll race you to see who kills who first.
All right.
What did you
Easy.
think of the end of wipe events last wipe? Because obviously you've been around the block a few times. You've had some end of wipe events happen in your time.
What did you think of Tarkov Cranked?
Tarkov Cranked, was that the? Are you referring to
Stim.
the
Stim
stims
mode.
thingy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't actually find any stims this last wipe at all. Like
Yeah, you
everyone
needed
was.
to- You need to get them out of the airdrops with like the 6 million airdrops that came through.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. There's me talking
the
about
virus
memorable. Yeah. There's me
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
memorable
Tarkov makes so many
experiences.
memorable moments.
I completely
But to be
forgot
fair,
that
that-
was a thing.
PTSD from like your bleeding eardrums.
Oh
that
my
one was
God.
a pain in the ass, in my opinion. I enjoyed the concept of it, but in actuality, it didn't. It
Yeah,
didn't survive for very long.
I know what
a
you're
real
saying.
pain.
Yeah. I think the thing that was the most annoying about that event was the planes. Like
Yeah.
not being able to hear anything. It was just offensively loud, and
Yeah.
you can't talk to chat in that time because they can't hear you. You can't talk to your teammates. You
Can't
can't
even think.
really, you can't really do anything but just sit and wait.
Yeah.
I understand
For
the
another 2
technical side
minutes.
of it. Yeah, for sure. The technical side of it, obviously, they wanted to test. BSG wanted to test how many planes they could run at the same time. I think in a lot of ways it was a technical test as well as like like an event, like a pre-wipe thing for the
100%.
guys.
Yeah, for the
playing.
flares.
Yeah, for sure.
I reckon it was testing for an arena game mode
Possibly. Oh, the stims definitely.
Yeah,
with the stims for Cranked.
because you could the bosses dropped the stims as well, didn't they?
Yep.
All the bosses. Yeah. I remember now.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. Not all the
so
time.
you needed to loot the thing, and Scavs sometimes had them.
Yeah. I remember
very
now.
rare.
I do have, apart from the planes being offensively loud and annoying, I have good memories from that mode, that that event. Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun. And like we were saying earlier, talking about offline co-op. Oh well, co-op. It's not really offline, is it? But co-op servers. Having these, like, I love when things like super change, like things are just like crazy different. Like, do you remember the dehydration event that we had?
Oh,
Yes.
That was
Like
awesome.
Yes.
the fuel
Everyone loved that.
shortage.
The fuel shortage was a pain in the butt. but
It was a
cool.
pain in the ass. It was a massive pain. But like, I love it when things just change in a way that like makes you think, and
yeah. You have to change the way you play it.
exactly. And something's happened recently, like a really sort of big change with the weight system, for example. And a lot of people are saying, okay, I can't level endurance. There's no kits that I can run. You can only run a pistol. Yada yada, which is horseshit, by the way. There's so many kits you can run.
Grab a shotgun and an MMAC, and you'll be fine. Like an MP 153.
You'll be surprised.
In my Ash 12.
Nobody
Don't do
runs
that,
the
but you're not
Sombrero.
leveling endurance while you do it.
You
Actually,
haven't done
Nobby,
much with Van Bros.
It's not fair.
Really? Do you run a Sobrello? Like,
100%
unironically.
100%.
And a kill
Hun-
helmet on labs
so-
with an Ash 12. With a raven
I'm a fan of the Zabralo, and then an alternate or a Reese T, and then an RPK with 395 round drum mags and factory.
Just going in
Yeah.
as the juggernaut and wiping everyone
It's
up.
the Terminator
So,
run.
Terminator run.
Yeah.
I like
Just
it.
And then
destroying
you take
the
your
hopes
friend
and
with you.
dreams.
and they've got basically the same loadout, and yeah, just bin foremans that spawn in the back of forklift.
Yeah.
They can't even get through your armor.
No.
Oh,
They
that's
don't even get
amazing.
out the door, mate.
Yeah. There's something special about it. If you're okay, so this is what I recommend, and this is coming from
Apologies to our regulars. You guys have heard this story a lot.
yeah,
but
It's my first time.
This is professional medical advice in the world of Tarkov. Okay, so if you're down in the dumps and you're not having some good raids, taken as a Bralo, taken in either an Alton, a Reese T, or at worst, Tagilla's face mask.
At worst.
Helmet.
At worst, yeah. An RPK with 395 rounds and a spare 60 because you never know.
Yeah, that
300 rounds can disappear pretty quick.
That 60 comes in handy.
It does. And then go into factory and you'll emanate Terminator and you will destroy lobbies and you will feel better about yourself. Don't feel guilty about the Timmies that are trying to repair those.
The control boards.
Welcome to Tarkov, guys.
Fuck them.
Exactly.
They do a task, right? And that task
Give
is
me
to
a 50% durability, Gratch boy.
yeah, that task is to make you feel better, and that's important.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
Terminator run.
Terminator run, patented.
Yeah.
There you go, guys.
absolutely.
Terminator,
Give it a go.
make it happen. I like that. Yeah, it's
Mm.
pretty cool.
Oh my god.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah, Van Rose does love running around with his Abralo though.
Oh, with
Yeah.
the killer helmet, it's amazing. Like
You must
just
be
bounce
like-
the rounds.
Yeah, you must be so strong, like in Tarkov, then, because there's no way you're getting around. Like it's like
He's not
minus
moving,
45% movement speed, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just keep jamming the blue stem in there, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
You might
You
be
don't-
dead
you
by
don't
the
need
end
to
of the
sprint,
race
you
of
just walk
dehydration,
around.
But
Yeah. Well, I
that's
mean,
what
yeah,
it is.
don't really need to move fast if no one can sort of do anything to you.
Well,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Ice
amazing.
legs and
they
you're all good.
can't outrun my bullets.
This is true.
Well, I certainly can't either.
No.
Quick question.
Can't run anywhere.
How many times have you run into the new rogue bosses?
Twice.
Twice.
Yeah,
Successfully or unsuccessful?
Well, the first time I ran into them was on the weather station at Shoreline, and this was fairly early-ish in the wipe. I think it was about a month ago, and there's me going about my business. I spawned road to custom side, so I tried to get out of there as fast as possible. Because really, when you spawn road to customs on Shoreline, you've got two options really if you want to try and stay alive. You've got be the first out of there and just run and go. Or, not necessarily stay still, but take it a little bit slower and, sort of understand your surroundings and stuff like
Mosey.
that. If you're anywhere in between, first or last on the road to custom spawn on Shoreline, right, you will probably get caught in an ambush somewhere along the line because the people that got up in front of you will do a 180 and they'll be watching the other way. And the people that are taking it super slow, they'll shoot you in the ass, right? So you either want to be first or last. That's my philosophy with that spawn anyway. I just SJ and I'm gone, right? So here I am, smashing it up to the weather station, fast as I can. I start, receiving some suppressed shots, and I'm like, I feel like I was the first here, and these guys are super accurate, right? Oh, I got some in my eye. One moment.
Oh yeah.
It's a very passionate story. It's someone's cutting onions. No. So
No.
basically, I ran up to the weather station, started getting engaged by accurate shots, and I'm thinking to myself, "There's no way someone got here before me." So I go back down, take cover, and I start doing surgery. More shots. I'm being suppressed. I'm like trying to put my arm back on as fast as I can. And I'm like, right, I need to get out of here. And there's like these traitors flying over my head, and I'm just running. I'm just like, because like I think I had like I was doing tasks at the time, and I was like, I really am not looking to fight these guys. I knew instantly as soon as I started getting shot like through the grass, because you know what AI is like, right? They just ignore grass.
Grass is it's not even there for them.
Just these traces coming through, like pew 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 pew. There's green traces, there's red traces coming past. I was like, right, I am out of here. Thankfully, I managed to push around, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing this right now. I need to go mark the UN trucks or whatever. I'm gonna hook around. We went to construction and we dipped out. So that was the first time I encountered the rogue bosses, and I was so lucky to get away with my life. Right, I was so lucky because like these guys are super aggressive. I managed to get out of their out of their pathing quite quickly. Second time was yesterday. And I was on Woods. I was doing my thing. It was my last map for peacekeeping. So I was there with my UN armor and helmet, keeping the peace, doing the Lord's work. And what happens is I start getting engaged by, again, tracers flying through the trees, and it was it was Big Pipe with his M62 coming from his MCX. I knew straight away. I was like, that's not a PMC, first of all, because it was literally laser beams. You know when a PMC is shooting tracers and it's like like this, right?
Yeah.
When an AI is shooting tracers, it's just like laser beaming me down. I was like, right, I am out of here. I pushed the other way. I said to chat, I think this is the goons. I think the goons are on the other side of the hill. Pushed down into cover, had some nice hard cover with the rocks in front of me. Like, this was up at container camp. So I went down towards like sunken, like only about 25, 30 meters, and I was by a tree, and I was just holding the angle, and I heard them sprinting. I was like, this is it, they're coming for me. And literally, Big Pipe and Knight just run straight through the trees right in my face. I think I managed to kill Big Pipe. He was 1.2 meters away from me, and Knight went back into cover. He started saying some rude words to me. And then he come back through the trees, and I was like, bam, bam, bam. I took him out as well, and I was like, whoa. Okay, so that's Big Pipe and Knight down. These are the rushers, and my brain was like, there's going to be someone flanking. Bird Eye, he likes to engage you from long range, and in that split second, I killed Knight. I just see this tiny, tiny little head running like through the grass, like 50 meters away. I just see this little tiny head like running. I was like, there's Bird Eye. I've got one chance to get this right. Swung over to the right, ADS with the M4, pew, pew, managed to get 2 shots off, shot him in the back of the head, and quest complete, played, and I was just like, nice. Chat was going crazy. I was super hyped, and then we looted up and we dipped out of there. But yeah, dude, the rogue bosses are like super aggressive, man. They get right in your face, dude, and it's just like, whoa, like, thank God for 60 rounders. That's all I'm saying. Like, that was, it was terrifying, man. Absolutely terrifying. Yeah. But yeah, they're pretty cool.
I haven't even seen them. I think I've been in a raid with them maybe twice, where I have heard World War VI going on, and I'm like, no, that's not today. Don't want to know about it.
Have the kit for whatever they are about.
Yeah, I am not equipped for this.
Going on over there, I'm going the other way. All right, I'm not gonna. Yeah. So now I'm actively looking for them, and of course, I haven't seen Jack. I haven't even found them dead. I mean,
they are tough.
They've increased the spawn chances quite a few times actually. To SWAT.
They're slowly dialing them up.
Yeah, I think it was as low as 3% on customs at one point. It was really low. But now it's a lot more reasonable now. 1 in 5 raids supposedly on Lighthouse you'll find them. So I've found them. I think I've found them about 4 times. The first 2 were on Lighthouse, and the second 2 were on Shoreline. I didn't know they spawned at the weather station. So the first one was a surprise to me. So here I am getting shot, and I'm just proning in a bush. I was like, okay, I'm just going to heal up, and I'm just going to have a look, see what it is. And you're right, they don't see grass, so it's I stood up and you
don't see cover either.
That's right. But the second time I haven't killed them all in one raid. I've killed Knight and Big Pipe because you're right, they just charge you, and I've killed them as a scav, and that's with a PPSH, and you're in the back of a corner and you just spray their legs, and you're fine. But it is when you need them you can't find them.
Yeah, I think that's generally the way, isn't it? Like, especially an enemy that's so so overpowered and so rare to be in a location. I think it's really difficult to prepare. I kind of like this about them. Like, it is really difficult to farm them and hunt them down. Like, they kind of when you bump into these guys. The way that they're implemented is like they are waiting for you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, not the other way around. Like, they're ready for you, not necessarily you being ready for them. And I think there's a lot of tuning to do with regards to their behavior and the way that they engage through foliage and stuff like that. These frustrating things I definitely feel need addressing, but like the concept of how they're implemented and the concept of there being this like super elite group that can be essentially anywhere. I know they've got set spawn points and they can be on different maps and stuff like that. But I actually do love the idea of like there being a group in Tarkov that like are better than you. There's a lot of I think there's a lot of egos and there's a lot of like well, I'm really good at the game and I shouldn't be getting killed by AI and all this sort of thing. Like I do think unfortunately there is that kind of vibe. And I do like the fact that there's a group of AI that are like, I don't give a shit how good you think you are. Like, I'm just gonna delete you. And it's I don't know. It's tough. It's tricky. Because I know that it can be extremely frustrating for a lot of players. But I do like the idea, like I say, that there is a group in the game that's kind of like an ego checker. Like, hey, you think you're good? And then the rogues just like...
Yeah.
So
also
I'm fine with it,
but
I don't want it to be a Kappa quest. I think that's ridiculous. I disagree. I'm hoping they just did that because it's new and they just wanted to put it in there. Or they're trying to quest lock out people, which is... I don't like that particular
It's not quest lock out people. The idea is to slow people down. It's a thing that they've been talking about for a while.
That quest
slow
is designed
down
to stop
progression.
people getting Kappa. That's the whole idea.
Well, it's designed to slow down progression. Like you're gonna, if that's the only thing you've got, guess what? You're gonna be running a whole heap of different maps, and you're gonna be looking for these guys, and just hope that you're ready when you find them.
It's too RNG.
Because they're ready for you.
And our captured outposts as well. Like that just shouldn't be a Kappa quest either. That's just ridiculous.
I certainly
those two.
I can certainly appreciate the frustration. Like a lot of people have asked me about Kappa, and generally speaking, my answer is like I'm really not interested in Kappa until the game goes full release. I can't be bothered. Like I hit level 42, I get max traders, and then I just enjoy the game and do stupid stuff like we were yesterday. Yeah,
that's what I've done.
But
max traders and you fuck around and do what you want.
For sure. But I certainly respect the frustration of players that are trying to get Kappa. Now, the thing is, like, achieving Kappa is like an active, you actively set out to achieve this thing, right? The problem, and, I completely appreciate with what's being said. The problem is when you have tasks which rely purely on randomness, RNG, I think that does more harm for the experience than good. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think having an RNG, because it doesn't slow everybody down equally. It slows like 95% of people down, but there will be people like myself who, get lucky and run into the goons. And then, like I was able to kill them because I've thankfully had good positioning and they just ran into me, right? They didn't even fire a shot as far as I'm aware, apart from the initial burst. So the idea of having a Kappa quest that, one player can achieve it in like an hour, like if they just happen to run across these guys, and other players that have got hundreds of raids looking for these guys and still haven't found them. I can only sympathize with players that are having this issue, because that one thing that you want to achieve is it feels random. It's like it's like applying, maybe going for your driving license and you're doing your driving test. And you're like, I really want my driving test, and I've been working so hard to get it. And then the instructor's just like RNG at the end, whether he checks, pass or fail. Do you know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
hope not. I hope not.
So
Why some
I,
people
I think
drive.
there's a lot of stuff in Tarkov which I would like to see more, not necessarily randomness, but more dynamism with. Like, I'd like to see the bosses moving around more than they do.
is
Like,
it on the same
imagine-
map or between maps?
No, like on the same map. Like, imagine if Reshi and the boys started at dorms, and then as the raid progressed, ended up at Stronghold.
Oh yeah, and they sort of go through like down the road or they
And
go
then
through
they
the bushes.
like go for a little wander. Oh, let's go down to New Gas, or they end up at ZB11, and you've got to fight your way through Reshi and the boys to get out of the raid.
Oh mate, get an extract camp by the scout
Like-
boss.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh no.
Like, because at the moment,
also,
if you're
that
looking
slows
for a
you down.
Shala, you're doing a loop. You're going Fortress, New Gas, Dorms, or in the reverse order, like whatever.
Yeah,
You're going. He's got 3 spots you could spawn, right? Imagine if you ran into him when you were between New Gas and Dorms. Imagine fighting Reishi and the boys at like bus depot or something.
yeah. That would be nuts. I completely agree, and we've already seen this with Glukar on reserve. When the train turns up, especially in the early days.
Yeah, they move across to the.
They move across
the Rook.
yeah. They move across to the train building. And I remember
They start in white. They start in White Knight and move across to Black Knight.
I've seen them move around quite a bit. Not so much lately. I haven't really seen them that often. They usually hang around K's. But I remember knowing that they were at night buildings, and the train was not long from approaching. And the little tower that sits past the fuel, like the fuel tankers that you need to mark. It's on the west side of the map. By the train thingy, yeah. So there's a little tower that you can go prone in, and I remember sniping.
Yeah. We call that. I'll call that Harry Potter.
Oh no, man!
I call that conductor.
Why? What's with the Harry Potter call-outs? Like this is a thing in our channel as well. Like they know really? I get pissed off with. I don't know why. What's with Harry Potter? I don't understand the relevance.
Well, because it's this tiny little tower, and you walk in the door, and you go downstairs, and there's just this whole big underground like dungeon that's full of like loot if you've got the keys. Yeah.
But when does that when does that happen in Harry Potter?
I don't even know if it does, mate. I haven't even seen the series.
Exactly. We've been brainwashed by these Harry Potter call-outs, man.
Oh man, you look so triggered.
I've had enough of it. That's it. Where's
That's it. We're done.
Nah, it's just everything's Harry Potter, man. Like, oh, he's in Harry Potter, and it's like, why do you call that Harry Potter? And it's like, I don't know. It's just what everyone else calls it. Like, there's no, like, I'm not like some Harry Potter fan or anything like that. I have seen the movies multiple times, but I'm not. I don't know, man. Like Harry Potter, bro. Why is it called Harry Potter? It doesn't make sense.
So potentially it's called Harry Potter because of all of the staircases on the outside. And it's kind of like the inside of Hogwarts where they got the shifting staircases,
That's probably the best explanation I've ever. Well, then surely the inside of the bloody dome should be Harry Potter then, because that's the biggest spiral staircase in the game.
Yeah.
Why isn't that Harry Potter?
Well, that's a spiral, and there's not
there's
only
spiral.
one spiral in Harry Potter.
Only one staircase, mate. It doesn't move anywhere. You might like misstep and fall through the hole in the floor.
Yeah, you just fall through the hole. There's no stairs.
Yeah.
Can't
Screaming.
believe
Give yourself the old express extract, and you can think about what you've done on the way down.
I can't get away from this Harry Potter. Anyway, there's.
Oh well, hang on. What's the weirdest call out in your community then?
Well, one of our guys, DB's in the chat at the moment. If I hope I've got the right person. But because Harry Potter triggers me so much, basically what he did was redesign the reserve callouts to all be Harry Potter callouts. So
I would like to see that map. That's amazing.
Was it D? I think it was DB. I can't remember.
Is there a map for this?
Yeah, I want to see this.
It is somewhere. Yeah, he says he did. He says he did it. So it will be
Yeah.
somewhere. I'll try and get hold of it and
Fish it out, post it up on Twitter.
Yeah. I will.
Yeah.
But it was all like
So
Wizard's chess and like Harry's humps. Oh my! Trust me, man. It's ridiculous.
All right.
So
When I
strange
first
call outs
started-
that make total sense in OCE,
Yeah.
right? So if I said Reshi's sex den to you, you know where I'm talking
You know
about?
where that is?
I would guess that it's in the fortress with the beds, right?
Yeah,
With the
right.
Yeah.
What about stripper?
on factory.
Yeah.
Yeah, stripper pole. Yeah.
DayZ.
Oh, I wouldn't know what that is.
Even I don't
Wouldn't know where that one is. Right.
So,
So,
I know
that,
that's med tent, isn't it?
yeah,
Med-
that's the
Yeah.
med camp, the medical
Okay.
camp with the containers near
Oh,
RUAF
Woods.
roadblock on Woods.
All right.
I
Yeah.
only-
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
only
yeah,
know
yeah.
that because I've only
Because
heard
you've been
you
running
speak
around
that.
on Woods with me, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard anyone else call it that, but
What
when
do
I'm with
you call it, Dan?
Yeah, what do you call it?
What, the Emacom camp?
Emacom camp.
Emacom.
I call it mid
Yeah.
camp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
same.
med camp. Yeah. That's fine too. It's quicker, isn't
I
it?
call the main lumber mill camp just the camp. Like,
oh,
and everyone gets
No,
confused.
there's
about that.
the lumber
there's no-
yard, and then there's the
Yeah.
old sawmill.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Tell
the
me
problem
what-
is, the problem is
Yes.
when old,
wrong.
you know, old sawmill,
Yeah.
people were confusing old sawmill for being the old
Camp.
lumber mill camp. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you'd say like, oh yeah, they're at old sawmill, or we're going by old sawmill, and they think that it's the old because when Woods was expanded, technically that was the old sawmill, right? But the old
It was,
sawmill
yeah.
is the new one out by the village. So, oh man,
Yeah.
like it's just so confusing. So confusing, man.
Okay,
What if I
so-
said ninja? If I said ninja, what would you know where that is?
Nope.
I'm assuming
Customs.
that would be on customs in dorms 3-story with the drop down from the roof to the window.
No. It is customs, but it's construction. You know the concrete that you can run up, and then you jump over the wall, over the blue dumpster by the blue container. That's ninja. Yeah, that's what we call ninja.
Ah.
Because you jump over like a
killed the
ninja.
guy there.
Oh,
The other
nice.
day, I domed this guy and his mate was pissed off. I was just running away from him to be funny, and then I jumped up on the wall, and every time I moved, the freaking barbed wire would rattle. So I just did it a little bit, and he like kept moving around, and then he finally came around the back of the container, and he didn't see me, and I just like went hi, boom, boom, boom.
Oh, what? You were standing like on the wall
I
with
was
the razor
standing in the
wire.
barbed wire.
Oh
in the
my
razor wire,
god!
and he's just like freaking out. I was like,
Trying to
"Oh,
find out
man."
where you were.
He just couldn't figure out where I was because I mean, who the hell sits on top of there? No
Well,
one.
exactly. Hiding in plain sight, mate.
Van
They
Only a Muppet.
they never expect it.
The real Vambros play.
No one ever expects it.
No one ever expects Vambros. Never.
Yeah.
All right. A
Absolutely.
couple of quick fire questions for you.
Yeah.
Favorite map?
Customs.
Why?
Because it's got everything. It's got long range, short range, CQB, buildings,
Yeah.
foliage, long sight lines.
Yeah, I think we'd all agree with that.
Yeah, and Rashala's, in my opinion, the most fun scav boss because he's not an absolute laser. Like, he just feels like a fun boss
And
to
he
fight.
generally doesn't wear any armor, so Reshi himself isn't that hard to kill.
For sure,
With
for
that
sure.
goddamn golden TT.
Yeah.
When you kill him and you get what's that fucking PL-15 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's annoying. I definitely think that we've had this conversation a lot. Basically, if a scav boss is supposed to have an item that you need for a quest, like Rashala should always spawn with the golden TT, in my opinion.
Or
Like,
a
do you know what
very
I'm saying?
high chance.
Yeah. Imagine Killer spawning without his helmet. Like,
Yeah.
it's
That,
just
that used to happen.
yeah, I know.
I
Yeah.
swear. It used to happen. Freaking broken. It's just
Yeah.
wrong.
You just be running around, it falls off.
Just fell off somewhere. You gotta go
Yeah.
find it. Subtask.
Some guy
find his
called
helmet.
Pistilli stole it to put on his larder.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All right. Favorite gun?
762 NATO, probably SR25 Scar H, G28.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
choice.
G28 's nice.
SR25. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Straight out of the box, it's
So
good to go.
solid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice.
Mhm. Right,
Dan,
what's,
what's in your gamma container most of the time?
At the moment,
Everyday carry.
yeah. So 2 stacks of ammo, CMS, Doc's case, Vaseline or other, long-term lubricant device.
Oh, very important. Yeah, for those long.
Exactly. For those long raids, you never know. You don't want chapped lips.
Those really hard raids, you really need to just soften them up. You know?
Exactly. For those extra hard raids.
Yeah.
SJ6 and Pro Patrol.
Especially with VoIP now, you've got to be able to sweet talk your way out of hostile situations with other players, don't you?
Well, exactly.
Even if you do, you still might get shot in the back.
Yeah.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, man. You never know what's going to happen.
It is.
You just VoIP to him and just be like, mate, I'll drop the vessel on the ground and we can just have a good time, you know? It's all right.
Yeah, you,
It's
me,
all right,
It's
man.
got
Reshi's sex
2
dungeon.
uses. Yeah, that's
Happy
right.
days.
That leads on to another question, I suppose. Do you kill most
Oh,
people on
yeah.
sight?
Yeah, I'd probably do, to be honest.
So if someone's like, oh man, I'm just doing a task, what do you say?
Oh, if
Fuck you, me
someone,
too.
oh mate, no, if someone pulls on my heartstrings, man, I can't handle it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, dude, because they're always so nice, and they're like, oh, I'm just doing a task, and I'm like,
You know, when someone's pulling on those heartstrings, you can just shoot them in the face and they'll stop.
this is true, but the damage has been done by then. They're already like they're already in my head, right? It's funny you should
they'll
mention
just
that.
stash their gear though.
Yeah, I just stash it in my stash, keep it safe.
Yeah.
So I was in dorms the other day, right? And I was having a chat with a guy, and he was like, "Oh, my English isn't very good. I'm just on a quest."
I've heard that one before.
So I was like, "Okay, here we go." I was like, "What quest are you on?" And he was like, "What?" I was saying, "What quest are you on?" He's like, stall." He was massively stalling. Chat was like, "He's stalling." And I said to him, I said, "Don't come into this like area." I was in like elbow on 2nd floor, and he was by main stairs. I was like, "Don't walk towards me. Do not walk towards me under any circumstances." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm coming." And he starts walking down towards me with his flashlight on, right? And I peeked out from cover. And I dropped him. He had a fucking hex grid, a Yushanka and a shotgun, right, at 155, and he was like walking towards me with his weapon at head height, and I was like, "Yeah, I can see that you're on a quest. Your quest is to kill, kill PMCs with the shotgun." And yeah, I felt pretty good about that. Like at the time, I was a little bit like not quite sure, but I gave him clear instructions.
You
and
got your justification.
Exactly. But you know,
Well, look, you gave him terms of engagement, and he violated that, and he died.
I did. Yeah. I read him his Miranda rights. Like the Tarkov version, and
I
he
think
come in here,
Nikita
you're gonna
rights.
Nikita's rights.
Nikita rights. Yeah, Nikki rights.
Or Nikita
Exactly.
no rights.
Yeah,
maybe.
Nikki right.
No human rights allowed in Tarkov.
What's the best interaction you've had with someone over VoIP?
Most
Because VoIP
recently,
has been like a mad game changer.
Yeah, VoIP is incredible, man. I was always skeptical when BSU was talking about implementing it, and I know that Nikita was as well. But for
I was
me,
expecting like a shit show of a dumpster fire.
I was
Yeah,
expecting
same.
Rust.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was
pretty good.
I was definitely expecting really, really bad experiences. But for the most part, I would say a good 90-95%, maybe more than 95% have been really positive.
Surprisingly high.
Yeah, for sure. I've really been loving it. I think an experience that sticks out in my mind was one that happened quite recently. I was on customs, as usual, and I started drilling a dude that was up in. Talking about funny call outs. It's called Dink HQ, like Dink Squad HQ, because I basically chat likes to make funny jokes and say I sit in there for half an hour every time I go customs. It's basically where green screen is and the toilet head. Basically,
Didn't see you
Hollywood.
in there for about 25 minutes last night, so I mean,
Yeah,
I can say it's true.
that would be Hollywood.
You like calling it? Was it Hollywood because of the green screen or
Hollywood,
the
yeah,
cameras?
to the green screen.
I like that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, I missed a lot of my shots, and I was like, I saw that he didn't have much gear on, and I was like, "Hey, bro, look, listen, I'm sorry. Let's talk about this." And he was like, "Yeah, no problem." And we basically we had a little bit of a chat, And I was like, what are you up to? Like, what is it that you need to do? And he was like, I need the pocket watch. And like, we was at like boiler side of the map. And he was like, I need the pocket watch. And I was like, oh, fucking hell. Like, here we go. Like, I get across the
Here
whole
we
map.
go.
I was like, okay, listen, man, I'm going to get you geared up. Like, you know, I want you to loot all of my kills. Let's trust each other. And let's see if we can have a good raid. And he was like, yeah, cool. Sounds good. And he was like really wholesome, super nice guy. And like, I heard his kid like speaking or something in his mic, like it was coming through from like the other room or whatever. And he was like, one second, I need to grab my kid. They're running away or something. Like my kid has escaped. And I was like, okay, I'll look after you for a sec. He was just like sitting in this bush with me by a gas station. He's like, yeah, my kid has escaped. I think he was a French dude. And I was like, yeah, cool, do what you gotta do. And then he comes back, he's like, okay, I'm back. And it's like, shall we go? I was like, yeah, let's go. And we went up and we got into construction. There was a couple of scavs and stuff. And he was like, yes, there's a scav by the truck. And I was like, yeah, sweet. And I killed him. And he was just like a really wholesome. I love those wholesome experiences where like, it's usually with a lower level player and they just need to get like a task done or something, and they're just it's just so positive and so fun. And at the end of towards the end of the raid, I said to him, because chat always makes me like self promo, and I feel really cheesy and bad about it. So I said to him, I goes, have you ever heard of a website called Twitch? And he was like, yes. And I was like, we're streaming at the moment, and the guys would really like to say hello to you. And I said, how do you feel about this? Would you be happy to come in and say hi? And he goes, I cannot wait to see myself, like this. But it was really like friendly. It was really like, I can't wait to see myself sort of thing on Twitch. And I was like, dude, you're the best ever. And we managed to exchange names and stuff. And it's just super wholesome, man. Like I absolutely love chatting with people, and because they're Tarkov players as well. What VoIP has done is it's introduced the human element to the game that was missing for so many years, because it was just killing targets before, right? I mean, for a lot of people it still is, and that's absolutely fine, but the human element was just missing, because you never heard anyone's like actual voice. There was no human behind the target. Do you know what I'm saying?
I can tell you a story about the human behind the target. So it was either Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. I can't remember which one. I was raiding with another streamer who was our first sub on our Twitch channel, by the way, Sergeant Woofy. So we were running raids together on New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve. So it was one of these two nights. I don't know which one it was, but we're stomping around factory, like just getting into gunfights, and we were getting people to woof at us over VoIP.
Oh my god, that's like borderline.
Before we got in a gunfight with them, we're like,
holy shit,
woof for me, come on, don't be. And like people like barking back at us, fucking hilarious. It was so much fun.
That was the
so
best
much
thing.
fun.
What was the first thing you did when VoIP came out? Like the very first raid, you had VoIP on. It's like the very first thing that someone said over the phone, right? When phones first came in, what was the first thing that you said on VoIP? Or the first sound you made?
I think it was like hello or something. Something really original and funny. It was just like hello. Like I walked into a building, it was probably dorms, and I was just like, let's try VoIP out, let's see what happens. And it was like hello, and then it was just like hello. I was like, hey man. He's like, hey, what's up? And I'm just like, I'm speaking on VoIP. And he was like, yeah, me too, I think. Is it working? I was like, yeah. And then it was just like, well, what should we do now? And he's like, I don't know. I'm just hitting Mark's room. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Okay, bye. Like, it's just super awkward. Like,
are we
just
gonna be friends, or are we doing the dance? Like,
yeah,
what's going on?
dude.
2 or 3 times, and then I was just like, nah, no more of this, and just start killing people.
Yeah.
Scav runs have been really, really cool with VoIP though.
For sure.
Yeah, you survive a lot more scav runs now.
Oh
Yeah, you do.
But like turning up to people, say, hey man, how you doing? I swear I've run into the same dude on wood scav runs like 4 or 5 times. because we end up running sort of the same route.
The same route. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, hey man, how you doing? Yeah, I'm not too bad. What's going on? Oh, are you looking for anything in particular? Nah, man, I'm just looting. Yeah, easy. No worries. You found anything good? Nah.
Nah, it's always no, isn't it?
There with a
It's
lead axe in my
always
pocket.
no.
Sitting there with a
Always
lead
no.
axe
Don't
in my
answer
pocket.
yes.
Yeah, he's like
Oh, yeah,
looking
I've
at his
got a red key card
GPU.
in my pocket. Yeah. Oh, thanks. Oh, here, take a medkit. Oh, thanks, dude. Bang.
Yeah. What I try and do sometimes is I'll give someone something semi-good. Like, oh, this is all I found, but here you go, you can
And
have
then
it.
you'll hit them in the head with your knife, won't you, Nobby?
No, and then I've got like a GPU or something in my bum. I was like, I just need to get the fuck out of there. So I got something really good. I just don't want to.
Yeah, you just try and try and appease them. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And they're like, oh,
What
cool, thanks.
What absolutely blows my mind, though, is that if you think about the ye olden times pre-VoIP, how much people trusted each other with none of that stuff. Just ceasefire, and a little bit of bobbing up and down and a bit of
little
knife
wiggle.
on the wall and a wiggle. Like
Kids
that's
these
absolutely
days,
insane. How
kids
did that
these
happen?
days will never know the hardship.
They'll never know.
Pre-VoIP.
It's just insane.
Nah.
Like, the
It-
level of trust that was involved. Like, sure, there was betrayal, probably more betrayal than there is now. Like, now you actually hear the guy going, you did it!
But I think too, there was you had the wiggle, didn't you? So pre-VoIP you had the wiggle.
Yeah, the wiggle was.
So-
Then they introduced the AI scavs to do the wiggle.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
so funny, man. Watching because AI scavs would wiggle at you from like 80 meters away as well. They would literally just be walking along normal, and then they'd flick onto you, and they'd do this like, and then just carry on walking the same way, and you're like, did that scav just wiggle at me? Like, what the fuck? That was weird.
So one behavior of the AI scavs that I never realized until I heard Veritas point it out. Whenever scavs are eating, they turn and look at you.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Have you ever? I don't know if you've ever noticed it.
I
when
haven't.
you're running scavs now. You're 100% going to notice this.
Yeah.
If an
Concentrate
AI
and see what they
scav
do.
pulls out some food, they'll turn and they'll just start munching on their iskra.
But like staring
You
you
see the
like
hand
right in the
motion,
face.
though.
But they'll stare at you.
Yeah.
Like really weird.
Yeah. That's really bizarre. I'll never do that again.
That is funny.
Oh, looking at
I'll not be
myself.
able to unsee that now.
that's
Like every
scary.
time I'm gonna
Yeah.
be looking for it.
No.
I'm gonna think
right.
about Rid staring at me late at night now.
That's amazing.
What do you think of
Anyway.
the current state of the game, and do you think it's in a good place right now?
This is a big topic, isn't it? I think I'm gonna sound like a politician now, and I apologize in advance, but
No, take a stand. Come on.
I think some things are really good, and some things are working really, really well. But I feel like there are certain things in the game which, unfortunately, are dragging the overall experience down. And these things, in my opinion, are things like audio. And I know, like, I've been super lucky this wipe. I suppose maybe it's because I've got a purple name. I'm not 100% sure. But I feel like I've not experienced a huge amount of suspicious stuff. The most sus stuff that I kind of experience is I'll kill a guy, and then 30 seconds later, their teammates know where I am. Right? Like that's
Yeah.
that's like the most suspicious stuff that I sort of run
That's
into.
just a curse of being a streamer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's usually, or like what we had. I think it was last week. I killed a guy. I dropped his gear. Like I grabbed his gear. I dropped it on the other side of construction. So there's no way anyone, no way no one would know. Like it wasn't like next to him or anything like that. I dropped his gear on the other side of construction, and then I went on my way. And approximately 3 minutes later, I found myself coming back through construction because I'd flanked around because I ended up fighting some other guys over by the pit. I flanked around from the hill, came all the way back around, and his teammate was in the bush grabbing his gear. Like the guy's gear that I ditched. And I was like, you know what, mate? I was like, fuck you. Killed him. Managed to get one of my grenadier kills. I was happy with that. I killed that guy. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take his gun and I'm going to take your gun now. Because, I tried to be cool about it. I was like, you know, I killed this guy, I shot him in the back of the head. I'm gonna ditch his gear. You know, he didn't seem to be hurting for gear. He had some pretty good stuff, and it was a fairly decent level. I was like, you know what, mate? Like, I've tried my best here to, like, you know, be accommodating.
Accommodate you,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you've gone in and you found out where I've ditched his gear. You know, so fuck you. I'm taking it both and I set it defense.
That's real scumbag move, really.
You know, that does suck, to be honest. But I think, you know, I think apart from audio being a massive pain, I know that Nikita said on the most recent podcast that he is looking for a full overhaul. I believe they're going to drop Steam Audio and work with a
Yeah.
different system.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the next system that they decide to use is.
I think they're going to build it themselves, to be honest.
It needs a full redesign from the ground up, in my opinion. Audio,
Planar audio really needs some work.
yeah,
They just need to go in and actually do something about it, because they pretty much haven't really done anything. They tried to Band-Aid fix it with Steam Audio. It didn't work. They really need to just attack it. They need to sit down and actually fix it.
the problem is the Steam Audio is essentially post-processing. Imagine post effects, but for your ears, right? That's essentially what Steam Audio is, in its current implementation with Tarkov. Like the core of the audio experience, the way that it's designed is the problem. The way that occlusion zones have been implemented and essentially is, you know, audio in Tarkov is essentially boxes. Like if you're in the box, it sounds this way. If you're outside of the box, it sounds that way, right? And
Yeah.
if there's two boxes in between you, then you don't hear anything at all. You know, and unfortunately, this has you know been a problem for a long time.
Yeah, very long time.
I'm not sure how long some of you guys have been playing, but if you remember, way back in the day, there was no such thing as occlusion zones. You could hear everything all the time. You know, we had range and stuff, like you wouldn't hear footsteps from miles away. But, you know, if you went to the resort, for example, you would hear footsteps like all the time. There was no muffled, there was no vertical audio, nothing like that. And I'm not saying for a moment that this was better, but it was consistent.
Yeah, it was way more consistent.
It was consistent, and I think, you know, I think players kind of appreciated the consistency of it compared to now, where audio is super inconsistent. You know, we've done a few tests with audio lately, and there's occlusion zones, and there's objects which cause occlusion. Now, for anyone that's in the chat and they're not quite sure what occlusion is, essentially something. You know, you've got line of sight with a sound source. It sounds like this. It's like bang, 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 nice and clear, right? You introduce an object, you put an object in between, and it starts sounding like this: bang, 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 bang. You know, imagine that kind of thing, right? And essentially, there are objects in the game, for example, things as thin as lampposts and stuff, which have or act as occlusion barriers. So you will hear someone, you know, running and it sounds muffled, and the only thing that's in between you is like a chain link, like a bit of a chain link fence, or like a lamppost, or I don't know, like a desk chair or something, and it's like causing the audio to completely sound like it's muffled. Like, oh, he's on the other side of a wall, or he's, you know, in a different location entirely. Long story short, what needs to happen is there needs to be a full redesign with the audio, and build it from the ground up with the environment in mind. And you know, I'm sure many of you have seen the video that Veritas did with, you know, with the full suite of Steam Audio and having that real time audio rendering. You know, it's insane. Like what he was able to achieve in arguably a small environment, a small test environment, you know, was amazing. And you know, hearing the way that stairs work and the way that materials affect the sound, realistically, like acoustic properties and that sort of thing, like it's absolutely incredible, and it's so much more intuitive, because the way that the full suite of Steam Audio works is that it's designed to mimic how we hear things in real life. And obviously, we've been, you know, a lot of us have. I'm being careful with what I say here for obvious reasons, but like most of us have been hearing things our whole life, right? And we're used to how things sound in real life. And Steam Audio does a great job at mimicking that when you use the full suite of its features and design the environment in a way which complements those features by setting things like materials and thicknesses and densities and stuff like that.
I do like that we've had a few different materials sounds that have popped up this wipe, and even more so. I think it was last week or the week before they added in like the plastic sound.
Oh, the horrible rhino sound.
Yeah.
Well, I run
Labs
mostly
is-
woods, but I've heard it.
Labs is it's not ideal.
Yeah, but
When
like
you're
the
running
It's a
around
bit
rickety
quieter and
wood sounds a bit.
squelching, though, so I mean that's kind of good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's good that they're starting to expand the audio suite with like different sounds. Scared the shit out of me the first time I dropped a weapon
Oh,
Still
Oh,
does.
God, yeah.
when I was looting.
So abrasive, isn't it? It sounds like someone's taking a shot at you.
yeah. It's
Like-
like,
The
just
pistol's the worst.
It's not just like
dropping it.
it's not just dropping it like putting a weapon down. It's like slamming it
You're
on the
standing
floor.
next to something, you like throw it against the wall.
Yeah, because picture this scene, right? You know, your stealth. It's at night time. You're going up on top of building 3 to loot the one rogue that's on the gun, and you're
Yeah.
walking, you're quiet, and then all of a sudden, fucking bang, because you've dropped a gun, and then you die because someone knows where you are.
Yeah. It's
Quiet. Viva
so
La Dirt League.
loud.
Viva La Dirt League need to do some Tarkov skits based on how the audio is now, because that would be hilarious.
It'd be awesome to see that.
It is absolutely offensively loud, especially when you drop
It is.
weapons on metal as well. Try and drop something
Oh.
onto a metal container or something. It's like there needs to be
The idea is there. The idea is there.
the idea is really cool, but
Yeah.
it's from a gameplay standpoint, and the same goes for things like standing up, going prone, performing certain actions. Like there should be, and hopefully there will be in the future, like a quiet way to do it, right? So you've spent so much time like sneaking up on an enemy, and you're like getting yourself into the perfect position, and then you want to aim at them, and it's like. And they're just like they hear you ADS and they're like and you just spent
What was
5
that?
minutes. Yeah, exactly. You just
Yeah.
spent 5 minutes, or you click your laser on it. It's like, it's not that loud. It's not that loud in real life. Anyone that's ever used a tactical device, you have these little pressure pads on your weapon. They're virtually silent. You're not going to hear somebody click that on. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not going to hear that. It's not like a light switch that you punch. It's a tiny little pressure pad, and you just with your thumb, nice and gently, you press the laser on or you turn it off. There's no, there are things in Tarkov that I wish you could do slowly, and one of those things is putting weapons on the floor. Just gently place the weapon on the floor. If it takes a little bit longer, I don't care. If it means that I can do it quietly, okay. And the same goes for ADSing, standing up and going prone. All those things that are just like loud for no reason,
I feel like if it's going to be loud and that's it, then at least give the option to throw it. Do you know what I mean? Like fucking
Yeah.
just frisbee the thing off a roof or something like that. Just so you don't drop it at your feet. Could you imagine someone's just walking past and then a gun drops behind you? Fucking shit yourself.
Yeah, you'd bring in like empty Makarovs or something. You could bring in like the lightest pistol in the game and literally just launch it like a grenade. Maybe you could like
Yeet.
equip it like a grenade and hold it in your hand, and you could just throw it. Now imagine how you could distract people by doing that. They hear this massive crash, in a container next to them. They're like, "Oh, there's a guy in the container," and then you're just there like, "Ha ha ha!" You start getting some shots off while they're not looking. Like it would be so sick. And
here's something to sort of escalate from that. So you take in a Scav Makarov that's got like 50 durability, and anything at 50 or below has a chance of firing that when it's dropped. So you throw it, and then it goes off. that'll be the new task objective, to try and kill a PMC or something by throwing a Makarov.
that would be absolutely amazing. Like just throw a loaded pistol in it,
crazy.
and it just fires a shot when it hits the ground or something.
Yeah.
I mean, there is always a chance in IRL that when you do drop a gun like that, it will fire out a battery. But I mean, it's a very low chance of that happening. definitely
you know,
possible.
a lot of things
I
in
mean,
Tarkov
anyone-
are compressed, and I think we can sort of suspend disbelief for a moment and have a bit of a fun mechanic like that.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that for sure.
Oh, 100%. Oh, I mean, it can happen for sure.
That would be cool.
Yeah. All right. So we've got a couple of controversial questions for you. A couple of sort of hot takes, if you will.
Oh, I love a hot
And,
take. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just curious as to your initial thoughts about them. Let us know what you think.
All right, ready.
So, how do you feel about pineapple on pizza?
Personally,
Yeah.
I enjoy a pineapple on pizza. Just gonna say that,
That is the,
and
that is the correct answer.
I'm also happy for people to not
No,
enjoy it
it's the
as
wrong
well.
answer.
I do not mind if you want to have pineapple on your pizza or not. I couldn't give less of a fuck. All right, I don't care if you want it or not. That's fine. But if people enjoy it, then let them enjoy it, man. Like it's not hurting anybody. Just leave them alone, man. Like that's my
So you're
answer.
against pineapple on pizza. Got
That's
it.
not what I said. That's not what I said. I've got it on video, sir. I've got evidence.
Got you on tape.
Ah, mate, exposed. Dan exposed.
Right. Class 6 is better than Class 4, and the MMAC is the best armor in all of Tarkov.
Which one? Like that sounded like two separate things. Can we? So what's the question?
So Class 6 is better than Class 4. We'll start with that.
Okay.
But I think MMAC is the best armor because MMAC's
Right.
Class
Yeah.
4, right?
So what you're saying is you believe the MMAC is the best armor in the game, even though it's not the highest class.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
I mean, I don't know if I'd use the term best, but it's good. Yeah. Like it's lightweight. It's low profile. It's fairly easy to get hold of. Like, I'm not going to turn around and say it's the
Nicely.
best. I mean, it doesn't have stomach protection, and we all know, of course, that when you have a blacked out stomach, any further damage applied to the stomach will have a 1.5 times modifier. So that can obviously end your life very quickly, especially against people with shotguns. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to agree that it's the best armor, but I would definitely say that if you're looking to run a low profile, fairly affordable armored rig, then it's definitely
Or something light so you can level up endurance.
exactly.
Oh.
Exclamation endurance in the chat. It's yeah, I'd say it's good. But I wouldn't agree that it's the best.
Yeah, because one of your fellow emissaries said that you personally only run Class 4 armor and don't run anything else. I mean, what's up with that?
I don't think that's entirely true.
Oh, really? We've got evidence to prove.
I mean, if I go into the game right now, as far as I'm aware, I have Class 5 armor equipped, a Class 5 armored rig. So I think you might be working on some old information there.
I think the new Class 5 rigs, I quite like those. Like the
Bit
Baggerly,
heavy.
yeah, but here's my thoughts on it, right? If you're wanting to take something like level tier 5 or tier 6 armor, you're not going to bring in a light kit. Unless you're running like I think you can run a hex grid, maybe even a slick and an M4 on like maybe a spear mag or something and still be underweight. And you can still run around. But yeah, like if I'm taking a Baggerly, I'm taking some extra mags, I'm taking a relatively heavy gun, taking additional armor and stuff. Like I'm going to be overweight anyway.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So you're kind of your take on the situation is like if you're gonna be in the overweight, you might as well just go all out and bring loads of like equipment and not really worry too much about.
Yeah, but it's raid specific too. Like if you're going in for if you're gonna clear the rogues on Lighthouse, then I'd probably take something a bit heavier, just in case you run into PMCs or the goons. But if you're doing endurance, I'll take something a lot lighter.
Yeah, that's fair.
Out of curiosity, how many mags would you run on average for any given gun?
If I'm leveling endurance, probably.
Like your standard kit, like you're level 42, got elite skills. Let's go to a raid. How many mags are you taking?
If I was running the SR25, I'd probably go for 1 in the gun, 3 in the rig. I'd say.
Yeah.
I'd say that's
Ideal.
probably about right. Yeah, for me.
Yeah.
And you take an
What about
additional
an
second ammo?
M4?
M4, just like probably 360 rounders. Because I'm just hosing people down with that thing. I'm not, you know.
Yeah. So you keep it on fully auto, basically. Is that-
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Mouse one all day.
Just send it, mate.
So,
Mm-hmm.
well, that makes me feel better about the way I run SMGs. So, like when I run either the Vector 45 or the MP7, I've got 1 in the gun and 5 in the rig.
I mean, I respect it. There's something to be said about, you know, having a lot of
And-
magazines in your rig. I do respect it.
And 2 loose stacks of ammo.
That guy, Nobby, that guy that I killed on customs that night, he had an
Oh,
M1 rig, and
had
he
like 8
literally
mags.
had 8 freaking UMP mags in there. The rig was
Yeah.
full of them.
The guy was
Yeah,
ready for
those-
war.
Level was he?
Heck,
He was.
They're only 25 round mags though, mate. You burn through those pretty quick.
that is a ridiculous amount of ammo to have preloaded. You take spare, just reload. It doesn't take long. It's only
I run
25
an
bullets.
MP7 with 240 rounds in magazines ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, but those
And
are
another
40
and
rounds.
another 140 in my butt. Like
On average, how many of those magazines do you get through?
at least 1 per engagement. At least 1
engagements
per
do you have?
engagement.
Before you die.
Are you dying
Depends how
before
fast
the
I die. If
engagement?
I'm there at the end of the raid, I've got like 5 rounds in this one, maybe 10 in that one. But I shoot a lot of bullets. I'm a subscriber to the more is more theory.
Quantity over quality for rid.
Yeah, you don't need to be
Yeah,
more
yeah.
accurate. You just need to shoot more bullets.
Yeah, accuracy by volume.
One of
that's-
them will probably
yeah.
one of them will
I don't know
probably
if there's
stab
someone over there.
in
I'm
the
just going to
face.
shoot anyway.
Hey, look, I've
Superiority through
assassinated a
overwhelming
few.
weight of fire.
I've assassinated a few bushes like that.
Yeah. Well, if you see red in a bush, you know to shoot it.
It's
That's
true.
right. Yep. Don't wear red armbands, kids.
Well,
Yeah,
do
don't
you-
wear red armor.
Are you an? Do you wear an armband?
do I wear an armband?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah. Not
Yeah.
really, no.
I
I
haven't worn
mean,
one on the spot.
I think,
Not really. Man, what do you mean, not really?
well, last swipe I had a USEC armband that I was given as a gift, and then I wore the, was it the Train Hard? I think it is. I can't remember which one. No, Kibber. I got a Kibber. I had the Kibber
Oh, yeah.
armband from a task or something. Then I wore that just for a bit of fun. But as far as armbands go, like, you know, if I'm playing in a group and armbands are the only thing that we've got to go off with regards to like not killing each other, comms has already broken down, and like I'm
Yeah,
probably
it's the
rage
end
quitting
of the
by then.
night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not really an armband enjoyer, to be honest. It's you know, it's unnecessary. Non-natural colors. So give you away.
I've never worn an armband in Tarkov until I competed in Evasion last wipe, and then I wore an Evasion armband for the rest of the wipe, and then I found one really early on this wipe and put it on and forgot to take it off.
Oh, what? So you
at
lost
the
the
end of
fan
the
and
raid.
raid?
So I lost the found in raid status.
Oh,
I'm like, fuck it,
no.
I'm wearing this now.
You're committed
Well,
now,
tell,
mate.
tell them what else you did. What else did you do with the particular LEDX you found on day 3 of the wipe?
Yeah, Red. What did you do with
So-
that, Lytics?
So day 3 of wipe, I spawned with a LEDX on my scav.
No
Managed to
way.
get out with it, and then used my found in raid LEDX to build my med station level 3. I clicked construct and went, fuck.
Instantly new. Instantly
And
new.
have you found
Instantly
one
new.
again since?
No, I don't give a fuck. I got med station level 3. I'll just craft one. I don't give a shit.
Fair enough.
That's the way.
Anyway, our last controversial question. I'm not really sure if this will affect you too much or not, but Earl Grey tea is the best tea.
That's not really a question, is it? It's more of a statement.
Well,
So
What
do I?
discuss.
Do I think?
Your thoughts about that?
This is gonna probably piss off a lot of my countrymen.
no, they'll probably just write you an angry letter telling you what they think of you.
Yeah, that's
Strongly
123
worded.
PO Box 5 DanExert, Brighton.
Nah, they would never be so brave. What they'd do is talk shit behind my back about it and not say anything to my
Yeah.
face. That's
You
what
would hear
really
the
would
whistles.
happen.
Probably.
So I don't actually drink tea. I think
There we
it's
go.
because I'm not gonna say that I had like a bad experience growing up with tea, but like I absolutely detested making cups of tea for my mum as a kid. I fucking hated it. And I think after making thousands of cups of tea throughout my childhood, I just can't do it, mate. I can't make a cup of tea for myself. Like I don't mind it, the taste and the smell. I would never order a cup of tea, but I just
it's virtually the same process to make yourself a coffee, yeah.
But it's the
tea
weight of what comes with it.
Yeah, it's the it's just the going through that experience again of squeezing the tea bag, and like when one of my friends asked me to make him a cup of tea, I start getting flashbacks and shit. Like I'm like, I can't do
Make
this.
your own tea.
You're on your own.
I'm like, you make your own tea, mate. Like, there's a kettle. Yeah, no, I'm not a big tea guy. I love coffee. I've got I got bought a nice little machine, like a little Dolce Gusto thing, and I got these little pods. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, and I just have like cappuccino in the morning.
Man.
That's it, mate. Yeah, I love it.
Pod man on a podcast talking about pod coffee.
Well, those pods are actually quite nice. And they've got they have two types. They have like a hot chocolate one, then they have like there was at a time a Nesquik one.
Oh yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if you had, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but that was fucking disgusting.
Well,
I fucking hate it.
I thought it was alright.
It's meant to be no, you're wrong. It's meant to be consumed with cold milk, like a milkshake, not as a hot beverage.
No. So you're doing it wrong. You
No.
put the Nesquik in, and then you add a little bit of hot water to dissolve the Nesquik, and then you add like shit tons of milk, and it just becomes this really nice chocolate milk, and everything's all blended in nicely.
No, you eat it like Milo.
Yeah, or just pour it over ice cream and enjoy.
Do you have
You're
Milo
wrong,
over?
right? Hot drinks? No, just no hot drinks. Okay, there we go.
I
Do
mean,
you have Milo?
I don't. What's Milo? I don't know what that is.
Okay, so Milo's like a malt barley. It's like a chocolate drink.
Like hot chocolate.
Yeah, but better. It's
But
fucking amazing.
Sort of,
I'll get a mailing address for you, and I'll send you some.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
yes. Yeah, message us the PO box. We'll send you some.
Yeah, we'll send you some.
Genuinely, if you like chocolate drinks, it is genuinely good.
Milo. So just Milo, like the name, like Milo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
After,
It's
I
not
can
like
check it out.
Nesquik, is it? Is it kind of similar to Nesquik?
Nah, not at all.
Yeah.
Nah, Nesquik's
similar,
really
but
fun
better.
about it, but yeah, it's way better. It comes in a green tin. You know it's legit. Comes in a green tin.
Yeah, it's green. That's all I can tell you about it.
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I am a fan of chocolatey milk. Like, I'm not going to lie to you guys. But I mean, as Chat's quite rightly saying there, hot drinks are all well and good, but nothing beats a nice sugar-free Sneak Energy.
Yeah,
Especially
can
when
we
you
get a look at that shaker?
yeah.
What's
so
your coupon?
Is there a promo?
Is there a code?
We
Well-
May as well give us
to
a
get
code,
10%
Dan.
off there, Dan.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to,
Is it so happens?
get yourself a nice sugar-free energy drink from Sneak Energy, you
Yeah.
can use code DanExert as in the support a creator part of the order
Really?
process. Yeah, and this is
There you
the
go.
this is the Blizzard V2. Okay, this is the Blizzard V2, guys. It's very nice, and it comes in like a
Nice.
matte or like frosted kind of design.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and again, it's
Sexy.
sugar-free.
Sugar free.
Look at that.
How
Sugar-free.
much caffeine is there in that?
And does that keep
Enough.
you gaming all day and all
Enough.
night? Does it?
Yeah. So I have one sneak a day, in the morning or like in the afternoon. Like it lasts me a couple of hours.
So a little cheeky, sneaky sneak.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you got to start the day right,
We
You
chug
got
a
to start the
sneak,
day
yep.
right. Yeah.
Got to start the day right in the afternoon.
Yeah. No, it's good
to be
stuff. I don't
fair-
want to. I am only joking and stuff. But if you did want to get some, then code DanExert. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've been curious because I'm like, you see it around a lot. I'm just curious to know what it tastes like.
It's
What
nice.
was
Yeah.
what was your like best flavor again? Your favorite one?
Neon Punch.
Oh, there were
I'd say.
too many. Which ones were the ones to
Neon
stay away
Punch.
from? Sorry,
Bli-
'cause that was a shorter list.
Yeah, the short list. The flavors that I'm not a fan of, millions strawberry, millions bubblegum. You guys might love them, but they're just a bit too on the sweet side for me.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Sorry, I
It
didn't mean
tastes
to.
like too artificial, like kind of too artificially.
It's millions,
Crunchy.
isn't it? It's like those little, the little blue and pink, like it's like compressed sugar. Do you know what I mean? Like that. It's obviously it's sugar free, but those flavors. Yeah, I just never. I'm not really a
You're right.
sweet tooth kind of guy. I'm not really like a sweetie
Yeah, gotcha.
kind of guy, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Yeah, look, we don't mind you getting a cheeky plug in there, mate. Like we've hijacked like 3 hours of your time.
Oh, that's all
I
right. I've had
mean,
a good time, mate.
You know, at least we can do is maybe show you a little bit of love with that creator code for Sneak Energy, DanExert, in
Yeah.
the
We'll,
out there.
Sugar
we'll
free.
put it in the chat, and we'll put it in the stream.
Don't worry,
notes.
our millions of viewers
we
are going
won't.
to go over there and sign up right now. They're going to do that right now, all right?
Yeah.
They're
All the
gonna.
guys on the
Guys,
podcast later
so-
on, they're going to go over there.
All
Yeah.
right, so getting into the back end of the podcast now, is there anything that we haven't discussed that you would like to? Like, have you got any questions that you'd like to ask us?
Yeah. So I've always wondered what the gaming scene is like over your side of the world, because obviously, you know, you guys are kind of relative to us here in the UK and in Europe, and then our friends over in the US. Like, you guys are kind of, how do I put this? You're really far away. Okay, you're really far
On
away.
our own.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
off doing our own thing.
Like,
Fine.
how is that? Like, I've spoken to quite a few players from your region, and it's quite funny that you mentioned a moment ago, like you bump into the same guy on like scav runs and stuff on woods.
Yeah.
Like, how is it?
Oh, yeah.
How do you guys like find?
I believe
being so
Brit,
isolated.
You've got a great way of describing
I do.
our community. What,
So-
what are the words you use again?
So the OCE, so specifically the OCE Tarkov community, it's incestuous and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
See the eyebrows go
Now,
up.
I'm listening.
that's a combination of words that you weren't expecting to hear.
I
today.
was not. I
Right,
was not.
So from where we are, like we got, like for me to Southeast Asia, I've got about 100 ping. I've got 128 to Japan. About 165 for me to get to California. Like we'll still get people from outside the region come in, but it's for the vast majority, it's Australia and New Zealand, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many server options you've got where you are, Dan. We have one, and it's in Sydney.
Yeah.
So everyone is playing on one server.
Well,
Right.
there's two, but it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the same
Anyway,
server. There's just
region.
two of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you pull up the launcher, it goes Australia. Like that's it.
It just says Australia.
Right. So it
Yep.
just says Australia. So everyone is playing on the one server. So that's where, like, I don't know how many like OCE Tarkov streamers you watch, but if you watch them, like it's like this big sort of brotherhood, which is where the incestuous part comes in, right? Because we all sort of know each other. We all, you know, it's not that big a community, and you know, you'll run into each other in raid. Like I've run into Rambros once before, like ages ago, but I recognized his gamer tag. And then yeah, like so we end up fighting against these guys that we know, and it was, to me, it's very, very similar to when I was playing COD like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. And you'd be playing, you know, the same groups, you'd be playing like I played a lot of hardcore search and destroy. And you'd over the course of a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you get to know
Mm.
different people's gamer tags. You'd know sort of how they sort of played, and some guys had a rep for being just campers and whatever. But the same sort of deal with this. You end up getting to know everyone that's sort of active in the scene. And like there's been a few times where like you'll start recognizing other streamers over VoIP. Like-
Yeah.
So you know, I was watching Sergeant Wolfie stream, and he was on a scav raid on Interchange, and he ran into this other scav, and he's talking to him over VoIP. I'm like, that's Matty boy, like straight up. And I put it in the chat, and he's like, hey Matty, how you doing? And he's like, wait, what? Yeah,
Heck,
like yeah. So
Completely just
Yeah.
so
like
it's
threw him off.
it's incestuous because we're all like we're all brawling with each other, and we're all mates. And
Yeah.
I had the same
I'd
experience
say-
where I ran
yeah.
into. I was talking to this guy on VoIP, and then somebody in chat was like, "Hey, that's so and so," and I'm like, How do you?" And I'm like, "Hey, is your name so and so?" And they're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh, well, someone in chat just said they know you," and it's like, "Who are you?" And like, "I'm Vamros," and like, "Oh my god, it's Vamros! Oh my god!" Like,
That's
just
so cool.
ridiculous. Yeah, like you can't really go a night in OS without running into
Yeah.
at least
There's a
one
good
or
chance
two
you're going
other
to run into
streamers.
someone that you
Mm.
know.
The only
Yeah.
reason you
And
wouldn't
that's-
is because they're running other servers because
Yeah.
they want more like diversity in the fight.
Yeah.
I'd
So-
say from my experience, the before, and this is before they increased the ping limit. Being down in the
Yeah.
South Island of New Zealand, I could very rarely hit California, and it was too unstable, and Phoenix too unstable as well. I could sometimes get into Singapore, but I had to be invited in, and I had to have exit lag. So OC was it for me. So I'd say it was very lonely as well, because you're meeting people, especially if you're streaming, you're meeting people from all around the world, and you're
Yep.
making friends with these people that you just wish that you could jump into a raid with.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't go onto OCE servers as much now that I can get into, like, I've got another 5 servers that I can hit now, and comfortably
Yeah.
too. So,
It's
yeah,
great.
it's
so much better.
it's a lot better.
Especially
That's
for
good.
things like stream sniping and stuff, like, because I primarily only used to run on O's, and I've just recently started playing on a few more servers. And all these guys that are like, haha, I'm gonna keep ambushes, mate. We'll just sit and stream snipe him, haha. And then I'm sitting there, and they're like, hey, you're not in this raid. I'm like, no, I'm not. By the way, you're banned. Go away. Thank you.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
So
it
stream
is that's
sniping
pretty chronic.
is
Yeah,
stream
prolific.
sniping is an issue. here
Yeah, I can imagine.
With the one
because
server.
with the
pretty
one
limited.
server.
Yeah, that ping limit has changed a lot of streamers' lives
Yeah.
quite significantly.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be able to do duos with Psychosha from Sicario Esports this weekend, which I'm really, really excited about. Because he's in the Netherlands, so
Oh wow, so you're
Hopefully-
yeah.
might be able to get onto a server that's like halfway between us and run some raids with him. Which, yeah, a year ago, if someone said, "Yeah, you can possibly going to be running raids with someone who's in Europe," like, it's pretty freaking wild, man.
That's something that a lot of you guys haven't really had the opportunity to do before. Obviously, with all like ping limits and
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. Wow.
That's right.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
really cool.
we really take it for granted over here. Like, I can play East Coast US. There's a number of East Coast US servers that I can play on comfortably.
Yep.
Obviously, you've got the UK, we've got Ireland, we've got all of Western Europe, Germany, France, Spain, the Netherlands, Finland, Sweden. We can play on a couple
Yeah.
of the Middle
Russia?
East servers. Yeah, we can. I think I can connect to like Krasnoyarsk, maybe St. Petersburg. Like I could connect to them with like 85, 90 ping, something like that. So
Oh,
we,
yeah, right.
we're really like, because the UK is just like smack bang in the middle, right? We're right in between the UK, between Europe and the US.
Yeah.
So we have this massive like selection of servers
Yeah.
that we can play on, and it's quite funny because over the years I've been playing on I've been switching between different servers, like you say, with stream sniping and that sort of thing. Thankfully it's really easy to just change servers, right, and just go play on a different
Yeah.
server for a bit or whatever. We're really lucky that we can do that. But you do find, like, over the years, especially now with VoIP as well, you'll find that each server, or at least each like region, each block has like its own personality. So in the US, you'll find a lot of people are happy to like jump on VoIP and chat and have a bit of fun and that
Yeah.
sort of thing. And they're usually always up for a fight. Like they're always up for a fight. But if you have a chat with them, then they're really, really cool and you can have a fun interaction
You're-
and that sort of thing.
You're
So
the second person that's told me that exact same thing. That the difference between playing on EU versus US or NA is very, very different. Like the way people play is very different.
yeah, for sure, 100%. It's
Yeah.
I'm not, I don't mean to insult our friends over in the US. Generally speaking, I found on US servers it is a lot more predictable because a lot of our friends over in the US, they're there for the fights, they're there for the fun, they're there for the PvP. So you can kind of read that and, okay, I'm expecting this guy to push. Okay, he pushes,
It's going to be a bit more direct.
Yeah, they just love getting involved, and they love, kicking ass and taking names and stuff like that. And honestly, majority of US players I've bumped into and we've had fights and stuff, a lot of them have been really, really cool, and it's been GGs and everything else. In Europe, a lot of the European servers, especially the further east you get, you tend to find that attitude does start to change. I feel like Western Europe and the UK, generally speaking, has been really positive for me. But as you get further east, you do tend to find there's a lot more of a... It feels like there's a lot of players that have like a chip on their shoulder. They have an ego thing going on as you go further east. And these are the guys that will generally come in the chat once you kill them, and they will start talking shit like, "Oh, you're this, you're that." Yeah, and it's I really hate to, I really don't want to like tar everybody with the same brush. There's obviously there's bad apples, There's bad apples, there's good apples everywhere. There's a lot of dickheads in the UK. I've been stream sniped on Ireland servers. I'm not saying for a moment that everyone in this part of Europe is perfect. I'm not saying that for a second. But just from a percentage, average percentage, I do find that, the further east you go with the servers in Europe, you do tend to run into people who are perhaps not so friendly.
Well, that's your own personal experience, and I mean, stereotypes exist for a reason. Stereotypes are a thing for a reason because common characteristics and all that. But yeah, I've heard that the further east you go, people just literally loot everything that's not freaking nailed down. Like, you're on a Russian server because like there's literally nothing there if someone's gone through there. Like everything is gone, everything.
That's bad. I never really played on Russian servers, so. But yeah, it's funny to observe that like different servers, or at least different regions, have their own, personalities. Like you can sort of tell where you are. Like if you just set 20 servers and then played a load of raids, like you can kind of get a feeling for where you're being sort of put.
Sent to, yeah.
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 But yeah.
Well, if you want to find out what it's like playing in OCE, set your servers to London for a day. Tell everyone you're playing on London, and then have fun. Good luck, have fun.
And that's what it's like. That's essentially what it's like playing on OCE.
That's basically what it's like.
Yeah, that's what it'll be like.
Yep.
God, I
Set
couldn't
your server
imagine.
to London. Tell everyone that's where you are.
Yeah, and turn your delay off as well to just make it absolutely instant, so they can really just line that up perfectly. That'd be great.
Yeah, good luck, have fun.
Nah, dude, I can't imagine how frustrating that must be. Are there any plans for your region to receive more servers, or is there any like expansion plans that you know of? Or
I'd love one in New Zealand.
Not that we're aware of, but from talking with a couple of our our two emissaries, we've got Afraid and Trent. From conversations that we've had with them, OCE is definitely a region that they want to do more with, and like that's honestly one of the reasons why we started this podcast, is to try and bring a bit more attention to our corner of the world and like showcase different streamers and stuff that we've got here, different content creators, and just
get out into the world.
But yeah, from what we've heard with speaking with Trent and Afraid, we're on the radar, and it's hopefully we end up getting a few more options.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Hopefully it just kind of like makes it a little bit harder for people to know exactly where you are and what raids you're going into and all that sort of thing. You can do your best to like hide your screen as you're loading into raids. You can hide your raid code and everything else. You can do everything that you can, but people can scav in, people can obviously follow you into raids and stuff like that. So yeah, fingers crossed you get something that makes that harder to do, because we're a lot of us, I'd like to hope the majority of us are all wanting to play fairly and not obviously
it's just as you said before, a couple of bad eggs that ruin for everyone else. Like I
absolutely love it when I run into a big group of PMCs and they fight fair. They don't give out any extra information. They don't sit in your chat and tell you other friends what they're doing. Like those are the best fights to have. Like, even if you die after taking out 3 of them, like, it's still really good because they come and they say GG's, and it's like, man, I know you were playing honest because those guys are flanked twice and they didn't know where the heck I was. Like,
Yeah.
that's
for
amazing.
sure.
It's so rare for that to happen over here, but it's good when it does.
Absolutely.
It is,
Yeah.
for sure.
All right. So, did you have any other questions for us before we move forward?
Yeah, what's the deal with Vegemite? Like, is
Awesome.
that
It's
like a-
terrible. It's terrible.
it's-
Never take it. Marmite for life.
No,
All right,
it's
don't
better
listen to
Marmite.
Van Bros.
Not English Marmite either, mate. The stuff we have over here, obviously.
Because you've got Promite, don't you?
I don't know what we have. I think we've got a Marmite as well, I think, but I don't really
You
have it.
do, but it's English Marmite. It's not the
It's
same.
not the same.
Nah,
Vegemite is awesome, but it's an acquired taste.
Vegemite is terrible. Don't listen to him. He's
Well,
Australian.
you'd probably like it, Dan. It's a savoury spread, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
you're not putting as much on as what you would with Nutella, for example.
Okay,
You spread it thin. You put it on a crumpet, or you put it on some toast.
Hot toast with butter.
Hot toast with butter.
Hot toast,
100%.
butter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But even crumpets with butter
like-
and Vegemite is still really good.
So it's
Reese,
basically
would you
it's
say
like
it's
a
stronger Marmite. Our Marmite. Would you say it's stronger than your Vegemite?
I have no idea. I wouldn't eat that
I
trash.
don't like. No, Marmite. I don't like it. It's shit. No, Vegemite all the way.
Amazing.
So
Vegemite's
basically,
like
it's
quite soft.
well, it's pretty soft, but it's like I want to say it's basically made from yeast.
It's a yeast
Like
extract.
yeast is it's a yeast extract. So
Tractor grease.
that says to me that it's probably a byproduct from the beer manufacturing process, and they just sort of repurposed it and
Put it in a
decided to do
jar.
something from it. Yeah,
Oh,
kind of like how protein powder. If you want to get into the supplements industry and you want to make protein powders, you need to have a cheese factory as well in order to get the quantity of curd that you need to refine a protein powder, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if Vegemite and stuff, like those yeast extracts, are literally from the byproduct of our beer industry.
Well, waste not, want not, and all that, you know.
Yeah.
Reuse,
No point
recycle.
waste. Yeah, exactly.
If you do get
So-
adventurous,
Yeah.
Vegemite first.
Wait,
Vegemite first. Use sparing. Use sparingly.
Vegemite first.
Yeah. Don't try
Vegemite
anything else.
last. Marmite best.
Yeah. If you try Marmite first and then Vegemite, because Marmite's a bit sweeter.
Okay.
Marmite's a lot harsher. I find Vegemite is a little bit.
We'll make a note of
sweeter.
this.
Yeah.
Care
We'll make a note.
package for Dan.
English
Milo.
Marmite is probably closer to Vegemite
Milo.
than Marmite.
Okay.
Vegemite.
I'd
So-
say very close.
Not pro Mike because it's trash.
I'm seeing stuff
they,
come up in the chat here. Sorry. Toast nudes. What's this? Send toast nudes. Like, does this ring a bell for you guys?
No
or-
idea what this
Well,
is about.
Is that for Toast Rack?
Well, it could be for
Possibly.
Toast Rack.
The
Could-
honorary
yeah.
Are
chairman.
you familiar with Toast
yeah, the
Rack?
honorary chairman.
Yeah, I know
Okay.
Toast Rack. Yeah.
Yeah. He's an honorary member of the board.
He is.
Maybe
We've
see him
actually
on the podcast soon. Actually,
Yeah, we got some exciting
Maybe.
news. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going on a family holiday soon, in like a month or so, and
we should need a
Toasty.
replacement.
Yeah, we asked Toast
Toasty
if he could fill in.
has
through-
agreed to
through
fill
it.
in for me while I'm away
Oh wow,
Yeah.
as like a guest host.
that's
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So he's for 3 weeks. It'll be pretty good.
Yep.
Like I say, it's almost a shame that you're going to miss it. But if you were here, then we wouldn't have it. So
I won't miss it, mate.
Yeah.
This is run out of my Discord. If I want to speak to Toasty, I'm going to speak to Toasty. Don't you worry about that.
I think I
Yeah,
might have
no,
missed some of this message. Sorry, guys. I don't want to beat this
No, you're right.
this new toast thing. It's something about tell the boys to send their nude toast with Marmite on it. I don't know what this means. Like
Unless he's talking about putting it into the care package.
nude toast. What's with the
I would
nude
imagine
part?
that-
Like I keep
I'm
getting,
assuming that's like no butter.
Unless they're
Oh,
talking
no.
about the thumbnail for the Toast Rack podcast we did.
was there nudity in that?
There was no
Not
toast
really.
on it. It was unbuttered, I think.
yeah.
So does nude
Well,
toast?
I mean, it had.
I'll be honest, I haven't heard of the term nude toast before, unless if it's some kind of sexual thing. I'm not entirely sure.
Unless
I
they
don't believe
mean-
it's a medical term.
Unless they mean like just the Marmite or the Vegemite on the toast, which that's a bad plan. Don't do that.
Yeah, no.
Your
You need
taste
that.
buds
You need
will
that.
be gone.
You need that lubrication.
You'll
Yeah,
need
you
to
can't
reset
butter.
that palate like crazy, right? Get some
So-
turpentine.
If you take
Uh,
anything away from the last 4 hours, Dan, last 3.5 hours, just know butter first, then Vegemite.
Then
all right?
Marmite.
If you go Vegemite, you'll think, why the fuck did they suggest this? These
Right.
nuts suck. But
Okay.
if you go butter first,
But then you'll remember
yeah.
back where I said it was an acquired taste. So,
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
and to use it sparingly, which is why you need the
Could
hot
just
butter
get
there
some
as well.
tractor grease and put that on some toast. That'd be the same. So, as for
Is there-
Vegemite, not Marmite.
Is there anything else that you think, okay, Australia and New Zealand have these particular items and you guys don't have it there that you'd want to try? Because we're going to send you a care package. So we may as well put a few more things other than Milo and Vegemite.
Just don't send any spiders. If you could,
No.
if you could
We don't
do
have
that.
any.
Yeah.
It does. We don't.
Yeah, we got heaps of them, mate. You want some? I'll send them.
You want some?
I don't know,
Mate,
man.
our spiders are so big, they got fucking health bars, mate. Like,
Yeah, they freaking do. They chase you.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, they will.
Nah, none of
Maybe.
that. What?
Actually-
I've seen some suggestions in the chat. Tim Tams.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Tim Tams.
Tams are fire.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Excellent choice.
let me just tell you, there is a particular method or way that you need to eat a caramel Tim Tam, okay? So it's a biscuit with caramel, 2 bits of caramel in the middle, and it's long, right? So you bite both ends off, you grab your hot Milo, and then you suck the Milo through, and it melts the biscuit, and then you eat it. It's fucking amazing.
That's pretty cool,
Chocolate covered
actually.
biscuit with
Yeah.
like a filling in between the two
Yeah.
biscuits.
Like gooey caramel, so fuck, it's amazing.
Yeah. It sounds like a penguin bar that we got in the UK. Penguin. Don't know if you ever
I
had
actually
one.
got a packet.
Oh,
I got a
wow.
packet right here
Yeah.
next to me.
Send 2 packets. All right, it's
They
noted.
look like this.
Yeah. So you bite both ends off, and then you suck it. You suck your drink through it like a straw.
Mm. Oh yeah. It looks like a penguin. That looks like a penguin bar. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll send you some Tim Tams.
Like
Yeah,
penguins,
delicious.
but better.
It's on the list.
Yeah,
Yep.
brilliant. Sweet.
Yeah, no, we'll
know
get your care package.
I'll
Tim
send you some
Tams.
cheds as well.
Chads.
But I'm not cheds.
Cheds.
So like cheddar.
Oh yeah.
It's like the ultimate cheese biscuit, and I'm not responsible for what happens once you start eating them.
Yeah. you
Don't
may
send me
find
an
that they
angry.
go very
Don't send
quickly.
me an angry message at like 3 o'clock in the morning demanding that I send you more.
Our
I see what
live
you're
chatter
saying.
suggested sending you a golden. Was it a golden gay time?
Yeah, Golden Gate time.
What is that?
It's one of the best ice creams ever made.
Never heard of that.
Well, it's going to be
Well, 'cause
melted by
we've
the
got-
time it gets here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like
Well, we've
Can't
got
do
the I think we've got the gay time like ice cream cone brand here, but I don't think we have golden gay times here.
I've
we'll
never
send
heard of that.
we'll send you some Nobby's nuts as well.
Oh yeah, that
Definitely
sounds
send
nice.
some Nobby's nuts.
Yeah, we'll send you some Nobby's nuts.
Yeah. It's actually a thing. It's patent pending brand of snack.
Mm.
I might see if we can
Nothing to
send
do
some
with me.
Nobby's nits
It's
in
a
there as well.
very small miniature sized snack, but
It is. Yeah, irresistible.
Yeah.
Somewhat satisfying.
somewhat satisfying. The results vary. Your mileage may
Yeah.
vary on that.
Yeah, this is all good stuff, guys. I'm excited, man. I can't wait. Like I can't wait to have my Tim Tam and my Milo and suck
Yeah.
suck it.
Just
Yeah.
don't.
After you've
have
had
it
your
Suck
sucked
Vegemite
Nobby's
in.
toast.
nuts.
just don't have it all at once, all right? Don't have your
Yeah.
Tim Tam and your Milo with your fucking unbuttered Vegemite on toast, eating some nuts. Like it's not a good together, but
Yeah.
separately. And then let us know. Give us some feedback.
I
Tell us what you
will.
think.
I'll do
Also,
like
then
a.
tag us on Twitter at Tarkov Medical. And let us know
I'll
what
do
you
a
reckon.
full review. I'll do a full review
Yeah.
on them for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Ah.
And
Yeah,
if
we want to see the unboxing.
Yeah.
We've
Alright,
seen
so-
General Sam's unboxings, so I think you can do better
yeah,
Probably can.
bar's been set.
or worse.
All right, so moving into the last segment of the podcast now. So we've been streaming this live on our Twitch channel, same as you've been doing with yours there, Dan. So twitch.tv/Tarkov Medical Board if you're consuming this on YouTube or Spotify. But as we've been going, we've been collecting questions from chat to ask you at the end. So You happy
Alright.
to come for a
We
wander
pick-
through?
We pick the best ones and we filter out the shit ones. Sorry, chat, but we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We don't
I'm-
have time
What
to
we
answer
do.
all of them.
Yeah.
I am down. Ask
Yeah,
away.
down? All
Okay,
right.
so I'll start with the first one. So this
All
one
right,
actually
you can-
came from our YouTube, which I thought was a really good question, so I put it in here. We've talked about what your best gun is. What's your worst gun and your worst scope or sight? Like your favorite gun. What's the worst gun in the game you can think of?
The
and
worst
sight?
gun. Are we?
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
kill a guy, you walk up to him, right? And you look at his gun, you're like, nah, I'm leaving that where it is. Or you're chucking it off a cliff so it can, or selling it to fence so it can never be used again. Like, what is that?
I wouldn't even be bringing that thing out of raid.
I'm gonna.
I'll leave that for the scavs.
I'll avoid the obvious ones like TOS and Saiga 12 gauge, like those sorts of things, because that's just, obviously you're not going to pick that up unless you need it for a task or whatever. But if I killed a dude and I saw
What
his
weapon's
weapon,
not worth looting?
yeah, it's probably going to be an ADAR, to be honest. If he's got an ADAR, I'd
Ooh.
probably. That's the first one that comes to mind. I can't. I think that's just pointless. Honestly, they're just pointless. Like, why have an ADAR?
Well, I got an appreciation for the ADAR after running around with an M4 early this wipe and having it in single fire. But I've never actually run one myself because I like having the option to flick that bitch in full auto and spray someone down.
Exactly.
I can understand your position there, Dan, because as a fully auto only man, an ADAR is the sort of the opposite of where you want to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you're running that caliber, why run an ADAR when you can run an M4?
M4.
you
For the
prefer-
same
Right.
Exactly, for the same
Just go
price,
whole
pretty
hog,
much.
run
Exactly.
run
It's
an-
same
run
attachments.
the- run
Like,
an HK.
these guys that build ADAs that look like M4s, why?
It's
Why?
point-
Can.
It's just,
Hold on.
yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or an
personally,
STM.
I enjoy it. Yeah.
Oh,
That's,
yeah,
Uh,
no.
STM is because you're poor and have no money. I mean, that's obvious. You did a scav run, you got one, you think it's cool. It's got 50% durability, it's going to jam on the second bullet, and you're going to die to a normal scav. I mean, that's
Well,
a different class
That-
of person, Dan.
that actually happened to me. I had a scav and I killed and it jammed on me on the second bullet, but that second bullet shot a PMC in the face. So
That's not
I
bad.
got,
Thank
I got lucky
yeah,
with that.
That's really
Pretty
lucky.
good. Pretty good.
okay, so
Yeah.
we hear that the worst gun for you is the ADAR. What about the scope?
The scope,
Worst
a,
sight.
a
What's
scope,
the worst optic?
probably the fucking what's that bloody ADOP4 thing.
Yeah,
It's
the
like
second
an-
four.
yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah,
you're the second
that-
person to
that
say
beige
that.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's terrible.
That's horrific.
Horrible.
Horrifically bad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
if you leave it
the NC
zoomed
star.
in and then go to the top, it moves the top reflex side around as if you're zoomed in at 4 times.
Oh, what? Like the sensitivity is the same.
Yeah, the
as-
sensitivity instead of 1 time. This is so stupid.
Yeah, nah. It's I can't be. I just don't understand it. Like it's just ugly. The 1 times is horrible.
Yeah.
The reticle's nasty. It looks like a bloody CCTV camera.
It does. Fucking
Yeah,
does.
and when you zoom in, you can't see anything because the reticle's so big
Yeah.
it blocks your
Got these
vision.
like massive red balls on the bloody screen.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
that's
isn't it?
right.
Yeah, nah.
No,
It's
I'd happily agree with
it's
that.
definitely the gotta be the
It's
NC
terrible.
star, man. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
It's winning our 2022 most voted for the worst scope ever.
Rightly so. I
pretty bad.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, rightly so indeed.
I mean, the Bearish used to be up there with it as well, but they've actually improved that scope a lot. TAC
The
30,
TAC 30, yeah.
TAC
Yeah.
30, that's come a long way.
I think it's a respectable site, you know. It's not the best, but I think, you know, it's definitely the underdog for sure. For
It's
sure.
Yeah.
it's one of the better. Like it's a mid-range long optic. Like it's a mid-tier optic.
Yeah,
The
it's
TAC 30.
yeah.
The
I put
meme optic.
Like
I'd say low mid.
not-
Low mid.
well, I mean you're doing all right, but you're not doing voodoo all right.
That's
Is
fair.
what
Yeah,
the
that
TAC
thing's
30
crisp.
says to me.
Yeah.
doing
I
okay.
respect it.
Not
Were
as
you
good as you'd like to
disappointed
be.
when the PKO6 had its nerf?
Yeah. What the PK what about it?
So the PKO6, obviously, like that was the most pristine red dot
Top of the
for a
line.
time. Yeah, and the red dot now looks like something from the MRS.
Yeah.
Um,
Horrid.
yeah, I wish they brought that back because that was a great red dot put on.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why. Have you seen them in real life? Like, have you seen photos of
Yeah,
it? It's
I
oh my
haven't.
god.
It's very similar now, yeah. Or
Right.
worse.
So is it more realistic now?
Yeah. It's
Oh.
more authentic now, and it became a bit of a meme because it was like the best sight in the game on Tarkov, and pretty much the worst sight in the world like in real life. So it was completely just didn't make sense. So it kind of reflects its real life counterpart better now, which I think is
They
good.
cleaned it up a little. They have cleaned it up. I was using one on an AK the other day, and it's actually been cleaned up a little. It's not as massive as it was. Still no, like get a Cobra. You'll thank yourself for doing
Yeah,
that.
stick a Cobra shade on there as well and get +1 ergo.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
You
Get the
know.
ergo back. Free ergo is always good.
That's it, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So now, how did you become an emissary?
Just I was just invited, really. I was doing a lot of Sherpa stuff at the time, and I was kind of doing like emissary stuff anyway, like liaising with the community, speaking with the player base, and finding out what they like and what they didn't like, and that sort of thing. More for my own sort of benefit, really, just so I could like understand the player base better. And I was actually invited. After doing Sherpa stuff for 9 months or a year, I was approached and I was asked, "Do you want to be an emissary?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it, man. Hell yeah! Like, I would be more than happy to." And yeah, then that's it. It's not like unfortunately, it's not like a really interesting, crazy story. It was just like, "Do you want to be an emissary?" And I was just like, "Yeah, of course, that would be
Jump
amazing."
on that. Hell yeah.
Yes, please.
So what do you do as an emissary?
What do I do?
What's your role?
Think of me as a bridge between the player base and BSG. Okay, so my job, a lot of it is information gathering, delivering reports, informing the devs on how the players feel about certain things, helping to chase up bug reports and stuff like that, and encouraging the submission of bug reports as well. You know, a lot of people will come to me with a problem and say, "Hey, Dan, I'm having an issue with this particular thing. What do I do next?" And then I'll run them through the process. Okay, what I want you to do is create a bug report, include your logs, include maybe a video if you can reproduce it, steps to reproduce that sort of thing. And then send me the ticket number. And then what I can do from there is try and chase it up and just let them know that, if it's a priority thing or that sort of thing. It's essentially, imagine like customer service, but more on a personal level. Like, I see it more of like hey guys, I'm your friend here on the internet, and I can take your issues that you're having with the game, and I can push them forward. Or if you've got suggestions, or if there's something that you really don't like, or if there's something that you really do like, it's all feedback. And the emissary team works incredibly hard. They're so good at collecting information from the player base, and there's a real skill in being able to not translate the language of what players are saying, but like translate what they mean. So, for example, someone will come to me, or maybe you like we were saying about the PKO6. Maybe someone will come to me and be like, "Dan, the PKO6 is shit," and my job is like, "Why do you think it's shit? What about the PKO6 don't you like?" And they're like, "Well, it's useless, this and that." And then my job would then be to say, "Well, it's more authentic to the real life counterpart, which was the dev's vision. It's cheap. It's not supposed to be a high tier optic. It's supposed to be something that's super cheap and super accessible and performs really badly like it does in real life, and just sort of like help players understand why things are the way they are." And like point them in the right direction. Like, oh, you don't like the PKO6, but you want a nice 1x. Have you looked at the EOTech series, or have you looked at the the Valde stuff? The Valde 1x. If you're looking for like a cheap sort of Russian optic.
Well, if the PK is as bad as it is, then why is the Cobra so good?
I mean, I don't know if I'd call the Cobra so good.
Cobra's awesome, man.
Best best red dot. Unless you're using the tan hollow, obviously that's not bad. But then it takes up half your screen.
No,
Yeah.
the EO Tech. No.
Cobra Red Dot or
yeah,
the XPS or the XPS 2?
Use the tan one, then you don't
XPS
worry about
is
messing
zero.
up. with the
XPS all
two slot.
day. Like
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean the
Sorry,
Cobra
we're
the
just
Cobra's alright. I wouldn't say it was good though, personally. It's just it's really noisy, like the reticle, isn't it? So
Yeah, I do like a nice crisp red dot.
mm.
Who needs to aim? You just hip fire all day, baby.
Yeah.
I put it on.
Get that laser going.
Get
Put a
that
laser
laser,
on
yeah. Stick a laser on
laser
off you
going.
go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why did you
Sorry,
die,
I
chat?
totally
Because you don't
derailed
have a
that.
laser.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
it's right there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Make sure you put your laser on, guys. So I can see you pointing it around the corner.
Right. So given that you're an emissary, you're also involved with the Sherpa program. How long have you been with the Sherpas?
Since 2020, 2019, 2020. Like this, I'm going to be honest with you guys, this last 3 years has been a bit of a blur. Everything sort of mashed into one, you know, when lockdown hit, like COVID and everything, the last 3 years has just like disappeared. I think since about 2020, I was working with the Sherpas. I was doing like Sherpa runs and teaching people the game, you know, taking them on raids and stuff like that. And yeah, essentially, I still sort of do Sherpa stuff now, not necessarily in raid, but like the knowledge and experience that I've put together over the years, I try and sort of teach more en masse now, rather than individually. I try and say like, you know, here's some lessons that I can give you, like here's some tips and tricks I can give you, and like I'll explain and investigate different game mechanics and stuff like that, and help people to understand on a wider level, rather than like, hey, I'm going to take you into a raid and help you kill stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I would, like my Sherpa style is really, here's the tools to learn yourself, and like here's how to like get better as a player and then become self-sufficient, rather than taking...
So have you considered moving more towards like a content creator Sherpa as opposed to a more hands-on in-raid Sherpa?
Yeah, and I think, you know, with what we've been doing with YouTube over the last couple of months now is really just doubling down on that content side of it, and helping people to, you know, with like guide videos and stuff like that. We did a headset video not too long ago, like, you know, helping people understand how headsets work and how to choose the best one for them. So yeah, I have moved over the last like year or so from doing the individual like face-to-face raids and more working on, like you say, the content side of things, and being able to, you know, teach more like generally and en masse for sure.
All right. Cool. If you're having problems with those of you guys that are listening to this, if you are having issues learning Tarky, jump in the Sherpa Hub Discord. So discord.gg/Sherpa Hub, I think is the address for it, if I remember correctly from our conversation with Cringe and Afraid. Pretty sure it's Sherpa Hub. Yeah.
I believe that is the right one. Yeah.
Yeah. So jump in there, ask a couple of questions, create a Sherpa ticket, and there's a whole bunch of highly talented and very patient people.
Very patient.
Very patient people to give you a hand.
Yeah, the official Sherpas are really amazing. They do an amazing job at helping the player base, and you know, as Tarkov becomes more and more popular, there's going to be more and more new players. You know, we all started somewhere. Nobody starts playing Tarkov and knows everything, so don't be afraid to like reach out to myself or any of the guys here on the podcast, and of course the Sherpas. And you know, there's the Tarkov community is amazing. And you have to put yourself out there. You know, you have to ask questions and say, hey, I'm new to the game. Like, I'm looking for some tips and tricks. And, you know, but at the same time, guys, just remember that everybody who does Sherpa stuff, everyone that does do videos and stuff like that, like, that's their time. You know, like, that's their time that they're putting into helping players. So please just... obviously, if you are a new player and you are looking for help, just treat it with a level of respect that these guys are going out of their way to help you. And, you know, like 99% of the Sherpas and stuff are, you know, they do it in their spare time, so they're really volunteering and still doing an amazing job at helping people learn the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, probably got time for one, maybe two more, depending on how long the answer is.
Yeah, for sure.
So Flanos in chat, he's asked, so do you use exit lag or another VPN internet optimization service?
No.
No? All right. We're gonna have time for two then.
Yeah. I guess I don't. I mean, I'm really fortunate that I have, servers super close by. I think I've got like 20 ping to London, 24 ping to Ireland. I'm really, really fortunate that I am literally surrounded by servers, and I've never really been in the market to use
you don't really have a need for one.
Yeah.
With how populated your region is, as far as servers go, you probably don't have a requirement for one, unless you were to say wanting to try and play games with some fine folks in OCE.
Well, if that day comes around, we'll be having a conversation.
We'll just meet you in Calais.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah.
So we got a question here from Ionis. Do you ever see the game getting a full release? What do you think about BSG's plans for the full release, like the whole one map, moving between them, etc., etc.? What are your thoughts?
All right, so I'll tackle this question in two parts.
Yeah, it's a big question.
Yeah,
bear in mind that you might be covered by an NDA, so your answer may be skewed somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, I can. Let me put it this way.
It's an objective question, not a subjective question.
Yeah, I don't know any more than you do, guys. I don't, as an emissary, I don't know any more than you guys with regards to BSG's plans. Okay, as far as I'm aware, everything is public knowledge gained from podcasts like Tarkov TV and like Q&As and stuff like that. So anything that I would share about this sort of thing has been broadcast by BSG. I don't have any information on it than that nobody else does. But yeah, part one. Do I see Tarkov getting a full release? Yeah, of course. I know that it's been in development for a long time. The game has massively expanded and grown over the years. It was never intended to be what it is today. It was never intended to be so complex. It was never intended to be so big. But over the years, the vision has expanded, things have grown, the team has grown, the game has grown, the community has absolutely exploded. So, I know that there is a stigma around games in development and like, oh, it's going to be in development forever and they're never going to release it because they're making so much money from pre or whatever, I genuinely believe Tarkov will have a full release. And we'll hit 1.0. I don't know if the whole, and this is just my personal opinion from what I know about podcasts and what I know about how the game performs already. I don't know if we'll ever have an open world in the same way that, for example, GTA has an open world or, that sort of thing. Skyrim is an open world, right? I can't see personally all the maps being connected unless BSG find a way to like stream stuff to the player and the servers and like I that stuff is way higher than my pay grade. But if we look at how, for example, certain maps run at the moment, without a way to like stream the locations and all the information and everything else, like I just can't personally conceptualize how it would be possible to have this huge open world map. So if I was, the way that I think about free roam with Tarkov is like you go to the extract and then it's like, a context menu pops up and it's like, where do you want to go? Hideout or, next map? Like, so, you extract.
So you're saying like the whole map to map travel thing?
Yeah, I that's the way that I would personally envision it. based on what we can play right now. You go to Road to Customs Extract, and then it's like, where do you want to go? Maybe you can access your hideout if it's like within one stop. So, maybe your hideout is located, and maybe you choose your hideout location. Like, I really don't know how that will work.
Yeah.
And you can, you could choose to go to customs from Shoreline. So your Road to Customs Extract, you go to customs, and then you spawn in like from there, and maybe the raid's already running. Like, I really don't know. Yeah, I find it difficult to imagine how it might work because of how the game has been for so long. Like, the general gameplay loop, stash, spawn in, do the raid, live or die, stash, and so on and so forth. My brain, when it comes to this sort of thing, like, it does find it difficult to imagine, like, what would it be like? How would free roam work in that way, with regards to how the raid system works, and with regards to like spawning in?
Well, the raid timer is like, the clock is ticking on the raid timer being a thing. Like, my understanding is at some point the raid timer itself, as like the raid timer is going to disappear. But then the question that comes from that is, how is like loot and stuff going to get repopulated and doors get locked, or like the cycle has a system where they have the storm that comes through, so everyone has to sort of bunker down in an area and stay in one place. And then as the storm passes through, monsters respawn, loot repopulates, etc. So you can be then running around the same raid for, I think it's like a 6-hour raid instance or something. But I don't know how that could possibly be applicable to Tarkov.
Yeah, people would just camp doors and just hit the mark key 7 times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm really not sure. Yeah, I'm really not sure how it would work. I think, as Nikita was saying on the most recent Tarkov TV, we are still looking forward to like the story missions and stuff like that. I'm not quite sure if story mode is going to be its own thing. I know that there was a plan from years back where we'd essentially have 3 different modes for Tarkov. We'd have like story mode, free roam, and I believe arena. Those were essentially like the 3 ways to play Tarkov. I honestly don't know how it's going to work with regards to story mode and free roam. And again, the only way that I can think of map to map travel at the moment is like, is via a loading screen of some description. And perhaps you'll go from one extract to the spawn of another map. But then, like you say, how does that, how, for example, with labs, how are we going to go from one of labs entrances, like Streets Factory or I think Reserve is one of the entrances. Like, how are we going to access labs? Like, does it then start a raid and then you get the matchmaking process and then people go in and then you do the raid and then you come back out? Or is it going to be like is labs going to be like you say, like the cycle where it's, rotates, like, or do you know what I'm saying? Like, how is that going to work? And
There are a lot of questions around this.
I think the idea is
so many questions.
Yeah, but I think it would be a very tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
My question around it is, have they actually stopped and thought about what they're doing? And do they now actually have, like, because obviously what they have at the moment was not what they were intending to make, but they have created something which is amazingly good. They, like, I've said this a couple times, they actually need to stop and think, if we make the game we want to make, are we destroying the game people want to play? And I know that they will make the game they want to make, but they do need to seriously think about that, and in terms of the effect that it's going to have on the game itself. Like, I mean, I'm all for this is their development, it's their thing, they can do whatever they want with it. That, like, as long as they think about that before they do it, like, and just steam ahead and do whatever they want. That's my concern at the moment.
I appreciate what you're saying.
Roadmap. Yeah.
I appreciate what you're saying. And, anyone that's been around Tarkov for years will understand, like, this is the issue when visions kind of change and games get big. Like, Tarkov was never meant to be this
Yeah.
massive thing. Do you know what I'm saying? And then it kind of did get massive. And then I think BSG was like, oh shit, we now have this like massive front page game on Twitch
Yeah.
that used to have like a maximum of like 1,500 viewers. Or, you know, I remember back in the day, there'd be like, you know, we'd see 4,000 viewers in the category, and it's like, whoa, you know, Tarkov's doing really well today. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And now Pestley will routinely stream to like 3 times that.
Quite easily, and
Yeah.
you know, we'll see hundreds of thousands in the category with like all the drops events, and you know, it's really
20,000 at the moment, right now.
20,000 at the moment.
21 actually, but I mean, you know.
Yeah, so you know, it's grown exponentially over the years, and obviously it fluctuates with like wipe cycles and stuff like that, and different events. But like, it's tough because Tarkov started a certain way, and the vision was always, this is what we're gonna do, this is how we're gonna go about it. That's the vision, and that attracted a certain type of player. You know, like probably milsim enjoyers, armor players. You know, people that wanted this sort of hardcore experience that was like super gritty, super realistic. Then we got to like patch 12, which was like the height of super fast-paced PvP, right? And that attracted so many players. So what we have now is we have this like conflict of interest, right? We have a conflict of interest where you've got like the old crusty players like me who, you know, we always...
The rats.
Yeah, exactly. We always like, you know...
Tarkov enjoyers.
The tactical players, players, right? That's what I'll call us.
Yeah.
You know, we you know, bought into the game at a very, very early point in its development, and you know, we've seen the game sort of fluctuate with regards to how it's being played. Now we hit the height of like fast-paced PvP, you know, AD and blah 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 blah, you know, laser beam weapons, sort of around 12, you know, maybe a little bit after that. And now, I mean, well, at least over the last couple of wipes, we have started to see kind of a slowdown and kind of like a pull back away from that now, which is really, really interesting to see, because obviously this kind of like flashy, exciting playstyle has attracted so many people from other games. And then it does feel like BSG over the last couple of wipes are kind of like, well, we're kind of pulling away from that because that wasn't really where we wanted to go in the first place.
Yeah.
And, you know, we are seeing things like the weight system being implemented and changed. Yep. We're seeing things like inertia being, you know, adjusted and implemented and stuff like that. And I feel like BSG perhaps has been trying to play catch up after the massive popularity boom. I think they've been trying to play catch up from there and be like, we need to rein this in maybe before it gets too out of hand. And obviously, I think some of the things that BSG are implementing are upsetting a lot of players, like with weight and inertia, and like the extra recoil, like the increased recoil on the weapons that we saw this wipe. It's a tough one, man.
People get used to it. Yeah, I think people get used to that. Like, you know, when they added an inertia, you know, a lot of people jumping up and down, kicking and screaming with inertia. It affects everyone. You know, it's not
And
just
then-
affecting some people.
And then they got used to it and that died down. Like,
Yeah.
That's right.
But those are all manageable changes. Like doing what they say they're going to do by changing the way you get from map to map, that's a completely different bag of fish. Like that's a universal change that is going to upend the game like completely. Like it's just so massive. Like we've just been talking about it for a while now. We have no idea how that's even going to work. Like, like
All
it's a
will be
massive
revealed.
shift. Yeah, eventually it will. I hope it's still a game that I want to play. I mean, I really do.
I think a lot of people have the same concern, and I think a lot of people are worried. You know, is Tarkov moving in a direction that I like? And I guess a lot of that depends on when and what got you into Tarkov in the first place. It's a tough one.
Spinning chads. Spinning lots of chads.
Exactly.
And
It's-
loot.
Yep.
It's tough, man. It's you know, I don't envy BSG at all. Like they have,
No.
you know, they have us in the palm of their hand, and like depending on what they do and where they go, like some people are going to drop off, some people are going to join, and I think this is the beauty of Arena. Like I think Arena is probably one of the best things that BSG could have done, and Arena's been the
can't
plan
wait
for a
for
long
Arena.
time. Yeah, same. You know, Arena has been
Arena champion.
already celebrating. I love the confidence. I love the confidence.
Bring it, boys. Let's go. Oh, I can't wait.
I think it's going to be amazing for the game. I think Arena is going to open so many doors. You know, people that want that like unadulterated PvP experience where they don't have to wait, 15 minutes in between firefights. Like Arena is going to cater to this audience, and it's going to be amazing.
You don't,
right?
Huge.
you don't have to
Gonna be
wait
huge.
15 minutes between firefights because factory lobbies load in like a minute and a half.
That is true. But
Arena should make factory a safer place, somewhat.
I don't want to fight people on the factory though, because you get the Timmies that go there that aren't really geared for a fight. Whereas you go into Arena, and you know that me and Dan came here to kill each other, and that's the only thing we're going to do. And if we take too long, Nikita's going to open the gate,
yeah.
and 4 knights and a killer are going to come out and murder both of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes clubbing baby seals is fun. Like,
Not for them.
No.
It's very subjective.
This is darky. I mean,
No, I know what you're saying.
Alright.
I think BSG with Arena, I think they will achieve the best of both worlds. Like the main game, I can see attracting a lot more and bringing back a lot of the players who dropped off. Like I think the main core Tarkov experience will benefit in that way, and I think Arena will benefit because it will attract the players that want. I genuinely think it's going to be best of both worlds. I can't wait to get my hands on Arena, man. Like I am a tactical player. I'm not going to lie. I am an old school tactical player. But I cannot fucking wait for Arena because it's just going to be like so much fun,
cool.
just blasting around and just wrecking each other.
I'll be in the crowd, spectating your matches, Dan.
I'm looking forward to it, mate.
Can't wait.
Looking
I'll
forward
be
to
going,
it.
oh, Dan, that's a bad move by DanExert there. What do you think, Nobby?
Oh, mate.
You shouldn't have crawled through that fake shrub, mate. Bad choice.
Yeah.
Bad choice. Yeah, it's gonna be good, and especially with all the tools as well. Like, imagine how much better the content's going to be for tournament organizers who have free cam, who have like player spectate things. Like, it's going to be so sick, dude. And I'm here for it, man. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with Arena as well. I cannot wait.
Should
I
be a
wanna
lot of fun.
An Arena champion. I'm gonna fight everybody for that title. You better be ready, boys.
Are we
That's
going
it,
to
mate.
start the hashtag no Harry Potter callouts in Arena?
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't want to be.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
I don't want to hear anything when I'm in the arena.
I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Mate, I don't want Harry Potter to be breaking my arena immersion.
I'm gonna
Okay.
mail it to you tomorrow.
What? I can't.
All right. So,
I'll do some custom callouts for you.
all right.
A
So,
printed out sheet.
Yeah.
all right. So,
Right. Anyway.
regrettably, we do need to start winding this up. Some of us have got to be up for work in like 6 hours.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
So, yeah, I know tomorrow's going to be fun.
I'll sleep in. Thanks.
But tonight was awesome. All right. So, who would you like to see us have on the podcast in the future? If you
who's
had
your
to,
nomination?
if you had to throw a friend under the bus
I wasn't ready
Or
for
a
this.
to be
potential,
harassed by Vam,
or a potential, game owner. Just,
yeah,
someone.
like you just want to flick Nikita a message and tell him to come on the podcast. That'd be dope.
Yeah, I'll just send him a quick text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Be weird. Don't listen to the target.
No, I
What
would-
is medical
who-
board?
Which Tarkov content creators do you reckon we would make good guests for the show?
So I'm a big fan of Tweak. I think Tweak is a great guy. He's always up for a good time, and him and me are like chalk and cheese when it comes to Tarkov. Like the way that we play, our thought process is behind it. Like he pushes every single fight. Like he hears a sound, like he's pushing it. He does not give a shit, mate. He just gets himself in like the maddest of situations. Like we are completely different ends of the playstyle spectrum. So, and he's a good guy as well. He's got a lot of time in Tarkov. He's got a lot of years in Tarkov and really established like YouTube channel and everything else. He's got a great
Yep.
community. So I personally, just off the top of my head, I would nominate Tweak because I think he would be a lot of fun, and I think he'd make for a great show, honestly.
Okay. Well, we'll put the feelers out to Tweak and let him know that he's got an overdue health appointment with the Tarkov Medical Board.
Yep.
For sure.
absolutely.
Sounds
And
good.
would hit him
put
up.
him in the thick of it.
We would hit him up now, but it appears that he's doing a subathon is sound asleep.
He's asleep, is he?
He's asleep. Gordon Ramsay is
Right.
currently playing on his channel.
Fucking-
Idiot Sandwich is about to come up, I think. That
Idiot
looks
Sa- it's a
disgusting. I would
classic.
never eat that.
Yeah. Oh, I love watching a bit of Gordon Ramsay.
Mm.
You're a big idiot.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Where's
so
the
one
lamb sauce?
question that we ask, all of our guests that come onto the show, when's the next wipe? And we're asking you to pick a day, like a specific day. Like, we need a date. And I'll
December.
explain why. While you're thinking about this.
Oh, no, okay.
So we're asking all of our guests that come on the show. We ask them when they think the wipe is going to be, and we need a specific day, because if you pick the right day, then you will win VIP to our channel forever and ever
Ooh.
until we need to give it to someone else.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I like that.
yeah,
I would say.
Choose wisely.
Let me get the calendar out. Let me see.
yeah.
This is gonna be.
Get the calendar out. We're not accepting duplicate days, so if you happen to pick a day that one of our other guests has already chosen, you may need to remake that selection.
That's okay.
Shit out of luck, as we say.
I don't think anyone will have chosen this date. I'm gonna go for December the 21st.
Ooh,
Is anyone-
It's open. It's open.
That's a spicy choice.
I like that choice, actually. I like that a lot.
Was
Yeah.
it a few wipes ago? Two or three wipes ago, we had Christmas Eve, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Christmas Eve,
12.9.
Mm.
Yeah.
12.9 was the Christmas wipe. If I wasn't playing Tarkov then, but I've been told that it got dropped on us like Christmas. Merry Christmas. Enjoy your pocket watch.
There've
bet
been
that-
basically
Yeah.
no like pre-wipe events like at all.
I
And
reckon.
then out of the blue, it just went.
I reckon that ruined a lot of families that year.
Oh, it did, of course, because everyone would be sitting. All the
Alan,
Tarkov
what
players.
just happened.
Yeah, all the Tarkov players were sitting there, like around the table, and the family's like, "Oh, isn't this nice?" And then they're just there, like, "I wish I was playing Tarkov."
And
Like,
then
thinking
all,
about the
all
pocket watch.
Discord lights up, and they're like, "Fuck, I gotta go."
Yeah.
I was
okay,
literally sitting
you know,
there playing Tarkov, and then I couldn't. I was really annoyed.
I was like, all right, time to get up because your son wants to open his presents. Yeah, fuck him. I'm just about level 15, all right?
I'm just about to unlock the flea market. Yeah.
That's right.
Oh my god,
There'll be people
it.
out there.
that's funny, man.
Yeah. All right. So, if people want to get more of your content, Dan, whereabouts do they go?
Well, I'm live Monday to Friday from approximately 10:30 a.m. UK time. We're live for about 7 hours a day, and that's obviously twitch.tv/DanExert. And yeah, you can find me on YouTube as well. Just search DanExert, or I think our thingy is youtube.com/exertofficial. I think it's a really old thingy. I need to change it, but yeah, YouTube and Twitch is where you can find me for the most part. And you can find my spicy takes on Twitter as well if you're a Twitter enjoyer. I'm always
Yeah, so- I believe
you
wrestling
also have a
jimmies on there.
website too, don't you?
Yeah.
I do have a website, yeah, danexert.tv. You can find some nice pieces of merch on there, or you can maybe watch the stream from our website. And yeah, it's a pretty cool little.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty
you could
snazzy.
also score yourself. You could also score yourself some delicious beverages. What were those beverages again? Sorry, Dan.
Well, I'm glad you asked, because right here we have some delicious sugar-free Sneak Energy. Yeah, use code DanExert on checkout. Make sure to support a creator, and
have
so that they don't fire me, because you know what companies are like. If I start underperforming, they will probably get rid of me. So yeah, if you want my children to go without, then obviously by all means ignore that. But if you want my children to have a happy life.
And just know that with every purchase, it's another pack of noodles that he can feed his family. So
Exactly. Yeah,
it doesn't take
Yeah.
much to support.
This
absolutely.
family of 12. They're under a cupboard.
Like Harry Potter
Jesus Christ.
under the stairs.
Yeah.
Bars on the
Ah.
windows.
Can't believe it.
Right.
Fucking Harry Potter.
Right,
think
collective
that'll about
shaking
do
of
it.
the head.
Yeah, I think that'll about do it.
Yeah,
Before
I think
any
so.
more Harry Potter references appear.
Ah.
Look, it's been absolutely wonderful having you on. Thank you so much. Absolute
Yeah.
gentleman.
Thank you for your time, Dan.
Thank
Really
you so
appreciate it,
much,
man.
guys.
This
It's been
has
a blast.
amazing.
Yeah, it's been a good time.
Been a
And
pleasure, man.
go get some
Much
sleep, guys,
appreciated.
because it's like, what, midnight for you? Something ridiculous, 1 a.m.?
Well, it's,
+1.
yeah, it's just about feeding time
Yeah,
for me.
it's 11:15 here for me.
Sounds good.
Lucky you, Rick.
Yeah.
Have a great night,
Go to
guys.
bed.
Well, yeah, but we're on the same sleep schedule, fam. Like, I've got to be up at 5 a.m. for work. So, good
Oh, yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll think of you
Not
guys.
all of us get to work in 9 to 5 office job.
Ah, yeah. All right.
Some of us are on factory hours.
That factory hours.
Anyway,
I'll flick
Fair
you.
enough.
Wake up at 10.
fuck you, Nobby. Like, fuck, man.
I'm not getting involved, man. I'm not getting involved. I'm only going to piss people off.
No, you're good, man.
Yeah.
You're-
And yeah, if you can, just flick us a DM with a PO box or something. We do
PO
have
box or
stuff
something,
on the
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
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 Send your message, see what we
we'll
can
send you a
figure
care
out.
package, mate.
That'd be
Absolutely swell.
amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no worries, Dan.
All right.
Thank you
cool.
very much, man.
Thank you.
Hey, Vam, who's
Yeah.
our next guest?
Dude, we have got an amazing cast coming up on Saturday with the
Yeah.
Tarkov podcast champion, Neff. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be interviewing an interviewer about being interviewed by interviewees about a
Well,
podcast.
Probably being
Yeah.
interviewed at the same time.
And
Yeah.
while drinking, maybe. We'll see. I mean, it's
Maybe.
going to be fantastic. And then next week,
Yeah.
on Wednesday, we have the most magnificent and amazing head of Tarkov himself.
Yeah.
He has no body at all. He's a mythical beast. His name is Hamzi. What a legend he is as well. That's
I
gonna be a
am-
great cast.
I'm keen to talk shit with that man.
That is going to be hilarious.
That's going to be a good one.
Wait. Going to be so
Definitely
Rumor
gonna
has
be a
it
good
he has
one.
no body, just a floating head.
Yeah,
Yep.
just a
So-
floating head.
You see him stream, he's a head.
If he shows up on the cast and he's wearing a green cardigan morph suit, it wasn't our fault.
Or maybe it
yeah,
is.
No, we got a good lineup next
Yeah.
stream.
Next
It's
little
gonna be great.
while. Yeah, make
Yeah.
sure you keep it locked.
All right, so we publish this on also on YouTube and Spotify. We have been putting them out on Thursdays at about 5 o'clock. They have been going live. Moving forward, we're going to be editing it on Thursday, so it'll be published on Friday. So you can find that. So if you want to check this out on YouTube, just search Tarkov Medical Board. Same with Spotify. Planning to get those live at about 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We're on Twitch, twitch.tv/Tarkov Medical Board. We're also up on TikTok. Again, Tarkov Medical Board there. The only one that's different is our Twitter at Tarkov Medical. So if you want to stay up to date with the goss and shenanigans and happenings with what's going on there, that'll be the place to catch up with us. Gentlemen.
And to recap, Nobby's Knits will go up there very soon. So
Yeah.
Nobby's Knits and Nobby's Bits.
yeah, if you fancy yourself a bit of crochet or
Mm.
knitting, and you want yourself a
Nobby's-
beard cozy, register your interest on Twitter, and you may
Yeah.
just you may not get one.
You
But
may get
who
one of
knows?
Nobby's knits from one of Nobby's bits.
All right, and
Uh,
on that note,
I think that'll do us. Dan, thank you again for your time, man.
Yeah.
Absolute
Thank you so
champion.
much,
Thanks,
Dan.
guys. Take care of yourself, and I'll be jumping out there.
you
Yeah.
Boys,
get
I'll
outta
catch
here,
us
man.
on Saturday. Take it easy.
Cheers, guys.
catch you.
Bye.